Yo, what's up, everyone? It's Core Chronicles here, back with another epic What If. Today, we're diving into a high-stakes story that's all about grit, determination, and breaking barriers. What if Deku was pushed beyond his limits? This My Hero Academia alternate universe is packed with emotion, action, and some game-changing moments you don't want to miss. In this tale, Deku faces challenges that push him far beyond what anyone thought possible. Beaten down by overwhelming odds and impossible expectations, he digs deep, unlocking untapped power and becoming a true symbol of resilience. Along the way, he creates new techniques, redefines heroism, and shows the world what it really means to never give up, even when it feels like everything is against him. But how far can someone go before they break? If you're ready for an inspiring and action-packed journey, smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe for more incredible what-ifs. Let's dive right into it. War Day 3. Just why? Aizawa's POV. Once Izuku told us what to do, we split up and everyone began heading to the direction he told us to go. Or that was at least what I thought. To be quite frank, I was an underground hero, and not any underground hero. I was the best in doing my job, so sneaking up on my class was no problem for me. It was even easier than I thought, and it was not even night. I was out in broad daylight. That led me to the question on how they got the others out of the game. Was this sheer luck, or was this more than that? My goal was my own class, and since it was still very early, there was only one place I would find them. The hero headquarters we knew they took base on. So without even thinking twice, I went to the building and somehow managed to get to the rooftops building. That was the moment I knew I was not alone. Nizu. I doubt they will be still in there. Me, what the fuck? Since when was he in there? Better question, how did he get there? I was out running and sneaking towards the building, always being aware of my surrounding that I haven't even realized that Nizu was hiding in my own scarf. These was one of the moments that I face-palmed myself hard. I couldn't believe how stupid this situation was. Me. Since when? Nizu. Oh, the moment we got into our base. Me. Just why? Nizu. It's cozy. Me. You have your own task. What about that? Nizu. Oh, Aiza knew that I was with you. Me. Cite that explains your task. Nizu. HMH. My task was to go in and eliminate my own class to my heart's content, and Nizu's was to find out where everyone in Class 1A was. Nizu. Back to the topic. I doubt that they will be in there. If I were them, I would change my base every day, knowing that I would go up against someone with some brain cells. Me. Do they even know that you are in our team? Nizu. They know that All Might and Vlad King are. So chances are high they know I am too. Me, okay. Nizu. I will go in and see if they are there and get you right after. Me. I am fine charging in by myself. There is no way that they stand a chance against us. We are pros after all. Nizu. And a pro doesn't forget his weapon. Does he? Me shit. I really forgot the weapon Aiza let Power Loader make for me. Now all I had was my scarf and Nizu on my shoulder. Nizu. Thought so. Now if we stick to my plan, everything will be fine. Me. Your plan, huh? Nizu. Why, yes. Me. Are you sure it's not Izuku's? Nizu. It is, and it also is one of mine. Me. I'm not gonna deal with that shit now. We still have a time advantage. They probably are sleeping now. Nizu. How well do you know your class? Me. Nizu. I teach them hell. Nizu. Good point. He jumped down on my shoulder and went to the hatch to the vent system. With a swift motion, he managed to open that, and only from watching him, I knew that he did that a couple of times. Nizu. I will be back shortly. Me sigh. With that, I watched Nizu go. What I didn't know was that my class was actually thinking for once and laid yet another trap specifically designed for Nizu. I waited 5 minutes and Nizu was still not back. After 10 minutes, I began thinking that he might have gotten lost himself. However, quickly discharged that thought since it was Nizu we were talking about. These 10 minutes went to 30 minutes, and that's when I decided to go in myself. First rule of doing this was being stealth, and normally I would cut the power and sneak into the chaos. Seeing that this was already an abandoned building, there was no chances I could do that. Now all I could do was go in very quietly and pray to God that there was no trap laying there for me. It was very quiet in the building that alone let me think that it was abandoned, and that my class wasn't even here. I went from room to room and carefully checked each section before going to the next one. For now, everyone was clear. Then I went into one big room. There I saw Nizu in a cage with a cup of tea in his hand, sipping on it as if nothing was ever wrong. Nizu. Took you long enough. Me, a trap you set up? Nizu. It is one and you just fell for it too. Me. There is no one here. Nithul. No. Then I felt it, the shift of the air. I knew this feeling, and my body moved instinctively, grabbing the person by her arm and throwing her over my shoulder. It was no other than Hagakure. Me, nice try. Hagakure now. Mia. The door to the other room slammed open, and I saw Todoroki standing there freezing the whole floor. Luckily for me, I jumped into the air in the nick of time. What I did not expect was Ida to glide over the ice like a figure skater with Uraraka in his hands. He also used his quirk, which made it impossible for me to escape Uraraka's touch. Me. Izuku won't like this. I was now floating into the air. Nizu, I told you this is a trap. Me, you know what? This was a good trap. Ida, thanks sensei. Seeing as I was unable to fight, or so they thought, Todoroki began sliding towards me with an ice splitter in his hands. Nizu. However, you guys didn't think everything through. I used my quirk and erased Todoroki's. Ida was only lucky that he got me by surprise. I would have used my quirk on him too. Now that Todoroki was unarmed, I used my scarf in midair and threw it at him, successfully catching him, and I also managed to throw him against Ida and Uraraka. I was still in the air, but I could somehow move around by pushing myself away from the ceiling and the walls. I couldn't hold my quirk up for more than 28 seconds before I needed to blink, and so I released Todoroki. Uraraka, we need help. With that, the angry dandelion of my class came into the room. Bakugo, what the fuck are you guys even doing hugging each other like this? Ida, we were not. Bakugo, I don't fucking care. Did I even fucking ask you? Nizu, oh wow. He really has some grave anger issues. Aizawa, and All Might said it was his charm. Nizu, I think we both know that he is an idiot by now. Aizawa, couldn't agree more. Bakugo went over to me and began using some explosions, which I immediately erased. However, by doing this, he began to smile weirdly at me. Then he brought out a grenade-looking thing. Bakugo, do you fucking know what this is? Me, a grenade? Bakugo, wrong. A glitter bomb. Me, not glitter. Bakugo, according to the rule book, we are not allowed to kill each other. However, any kind of weapon is allowed, and this is ours. With that, he threw the glitter bomb right at me. The moment it exploded, I was covered in red glitter, and I needed to close my eyes, meaning I couldn't use my quirk. Me kaka. Bakugo, how do you like this? I barely could see him pulling the trigger of his gauntlet and facing it towards me. That was the moment I was called out of the game by Recovery Girl's voice. He then moved his hand to a wall that hopefully would not lead to the whole building to collapse. The explosion went off, and the wall was one of the outer walls of the building. Now there was a huge gape in the building, and we could only speak from luck that the building was still standing. Uraraka then released her hold on me and slowly dropped me down. Bakugo, now as to you, Nizu. Oh, I ponytails, he is all yours now. Yaoyorozu went into the room with a gun in her hand. Nizu, may I ask whose idea was it to make cuts into the vent system that lead to me dropping down by my sheer weight? Then proceed to make even so many cages that I could fall in. I need to say that was splendid work. Ida, Bakugo's. He already mentioned that you might be in the villain team after all the teachers were called out. Uraraka. He also told us to better be safe than sorry and to be wary of Izuku. Nizu, that is indeed a good advice. Well, now at least I can sit back and enjoy the show with a cup of tea in my pawns. Yaoyorozu then proceeded to put the gun towards Nizu's head, and he was called out of the game too. I was sure that Izuku did not like this outcome one bit. Needless to say, I was somewhat proud of my class to not be so stupid like the last couple of generations I needed to teach. War Day 3. On the hunt. Bakugo's POV. After getting both Nizu and Aizawa out of the game, I felt somewhat relieved, but we were still not out of danger. Fucking Midoriya was the big challenge, not our teachers. I knew Izuku, and thanks to that I made a lot of traps in this building just in case he would attack us. Thanks to that we got Nizu out of the game. We were just lucky that ears could hear Aizawa walking and recognized it too. Since they were now out of the game, we decided to move elsewhere. We were not so dumb to use the same building as our hideout. Not after Izuku walking in the other day, as if he fucking owned the place. Once we arrived in our new lair, we all got together and began talking about our next step. Sitting around was doing us nothing, but without a plan, we would only be waiting for him to attack. If it was for me, I would rather be the one attacking him than the other way around. Uraraka, what now? Siro, how about we go to them? Me, We will need to have a fucking plan for that, and we still don't know what Izuku has in store for us. Ida. Seeing as Nizu just gave us the same warning, I say we listen to Bakugo. Kirishima. Thanks to Baku, bro, we caught freaking Nizu. Ishido. That's so cool, right? Kirishima. Who thought that we could actually trap him? Uraraka. So what do we do now? Me. I say we attack them first. Yairozu. I have an idea. How about we make an exploration team? Me the fuck? Yorozu. Listen, we could go and try to find the villain's lair. I mean, only 3 or 4 of us. Ojiro. That doesn't sound like a bad plan. Aoima. We could actually get more of them out of the game. That is such a splendid idea, Mon Ami. Azui. I am in, Ribbit. Me. Oi, animal freak. Why are you standing there and staring into the void? Kuda was close to the window and didn't even look at us. Kuda. The animals on this island are too quiet. Bakurgo. Huh. Jiro. He is right, no bird can be seen or heard. Shuji. It is as if the whole island is abandoned. Me. Fucking better this way. If these freaking animals were mutated, then we do not want to even fucking look them into their eyes. Sato. True that, but it feels off. Ojiro. I know what you mean. Me. Fucking back to the topic. Ponytail, I like the idea. You ears and you ninja will be coming with me. Ida. And what about the others? Me. You are in charge of them glasses. Do not miss any teammate or you be freaking dead if I return. Ida. I understand. Me. Icy hot. I don't trust him. Make sure no one is targeted. Just like that, I turn around and we left the main group. Now it was Jiro and Ojiro's turn to listen to our surroundings. I didn't know what the others were all freaking out about. The animals on this island were supposedly no joke, and the first day we came we could see a lot of birds. The jungle was also lively and animals could be heard, but now there was nothing. Not only that, but I also could feel the tension in the air, and I didn't like it one bit. I was also the opinion that Izuku would definitely make us enter the forest, and that was why I decided to move our hideout closer to the middle of the city. Time skip brought to you by May and Power Loader building a new drone, but it exploded at first try. Jiro. Did you hear that? Oh, Jiro. You mean the explosion? Me. Lead the way. We might as well fucking surprise them. With that, we ran towards all the noises Jiro and Ojiro managed to pick up and found ourselves in front of an underground entrance. Me. Stay close. I do not fucking want to lose anyone. Ponytail, make some weapons for us. Arrow's on it. It didn't take long for her to make us a gun and a knife for each and every one of us. We then head down and found ourselves very quickly in front of a door. It didn't take some super hearing to listen to what the people inside were talking about. I got closer to the door in order to make out whose voices these are when all of a sudden an alarm went off. I fucking triggered a trap. Just great. Why didn't I think about it? That's fucking Izuku's lair after all. Toymaker. Turn the freaking alarm off, they will find us. Toymaker. They already did anyways. There is only one way out of here. Toymaker? And who is the other one? As I opened the door, I saw a girl and Power Loader together. What's more, she quickly went to the computer and turning it off. Power Loader. Should we inform Usagi? Usagi? Rabbit? That must be fucking Izuku. Toymaker. No, it's already too late for that. Power Loader. Well, then let's do our best. May yes. I went inside the room with all the others. We were looking around in order to see if these two were the only ones in the room. Then Toymaker all of a sudden grabbed a weapon from behind her. Power Loader. When did you build that? Better question, did Izuku design it? May, nope. This is purely my baby. Power Loader. Toymaker, no. May. Toymaker, yes. I heard enough. All I wanted to do at this point was getting them out of the game. Me. Who the fuck are you two clowns? Yairozu. Bakugo. Show at least some respect toward the teacher. Me, I don't fucking care. Toymaker. I am Hatsune Mei, support corps student. Nice to meet you. And I need to say this, but Usagi was right in calling you a stupid angry as heck Pomeranian. Me. He did what? I swear that damn DKU. I am a kill him. Jiro. Bakugo, calm down. Me. I am fucking calm. Ojiro. Jiro, there is no point in trying to do that. I used my quirk to get myself a little boost and went after the girl while I let the others handle the teacher. From the corner of my eyes, I could see May getting ready too. May, I hope this will sure not blow up. Miha? Jiro. Wait, blow up? Ojiro. Why would it blow up? I was about to reach her if not for someone getting in my way. It was Power Loader. Me. So you want to seriously face me? Power Loader. No, just buying time. I used my explosion in order to destroy his body armor thingy. It was rather easy after using one of my gauntlet, the one I had left. However, before I could hit him, he jumped to the side because of the girl's scream. "May move! He is mine!" She re-edited her weapon and fired. The weapon she was holding in her hand looked rather odd. However, after her using it, it was clear to me what that thing was. Thanks to Yairosa's quick thinking, no one of us got hurt. She made a shield in just the nick of time and went in front of me. Me. What the fuck? Once it was activated, flames came out of it. It was basically a flamethrower with some weird purple flames. Me, what the heck? It smelled very weird. Then I saw her, and she had a mask on. Is this poisonous? You serious, Izuku? Are you fucking serious, DKU? I began coughing, and like everyone else, but lucky for us, Yairosa made some masks for us too. May fear my wrath, bitches. Oh, I'm so gonna fucking kill that bitch myself. I saw her throw the weapon toward us. Me dodge. Yairosa. Behind me now. Every one of us listened to her, and so we went behind her while she was holding the shield in front of her. The weapon hit the floor and exploded nearly immediately. Then I saw her run towards another desk to pick up another weapon. It is not over yet. Me ears, ninja out of here now. I didn't need to tell them that twice. While I was shouting that, the girl from the support course took another weapon and threw it towards Power Loader before taking a duplicate of it in her own hand. Me, ponytail, back off towards the door slowly. Yeah, Rose, okay. If my hunch was correct, then what she meant earlier with explosion was her weapons being unstable, and if that was true, then we could escape this situation safely, while they would kill themselves in term of the game. Thanks to the shield, we couldn't see what the weapon did, but judging from the sound, it was high voltage lighting. It sounded exactly like one of Denki's attacks. The fuck? Deku, you want to kill us all? It was a good weapon, but not in the place we were currently in. The electricity charged up and the lightning bolt that it was shooting began to discharge in the air and charge up every monitor around us. Each electric component immediately blew up. My call earlier was the right one. If we were still standing in the room, then we would have been getting hurt for sure. Thanks to me telling Yairosa to go to the door, we were out of danger zone. Now standing in the door frame and observing, I could hear the two villains in the room argue together. Power Loader? Me. That was ridiculously too close to burning us too. May whoops. I can't help it. Power Loader, you are not going to use another weapon. The smell of burned skin was up in the air, and I could hear Toymaker laughing. May. And I wanted to test all of them out. Power Loader, you had more? May. Yeah, I had 11 more to go. Power Loader. Nope, not going to happen. You burned yourself with the last one, May. Oh, these are just second-degree burns, and it's only a small burns. Power Loader. May, listen to yourself for fuck's sake, May. Oh, come on. Do you have a better idea? Power Loader. No, but I'm not going to kill us for real, May. And what do you suggest we do then? Power Loader. The only thing we can do. May, that is Power Loader. Surrender. May, what an O. Power Loader. You have no choice, or I am going to ban you from after-school permission to use the lab in UA. May. Ave. Fina. And just like that, we managed to get out unharmed with a crazy girl and a teacher. Once we all were out of the villain lair, they declared they surrendered and gave up. After that, the bracelets went off and both of them dropped to the floor. Me. Let's fucking head back. With that, we went back to our main group in order to discuss our next turn. War Day 3. Loud-ass cockatoo. After Izuku showed us his new pet, I was so sure that my heart would give out the moment I saw that giant tiger. I was still wondering how he got that tiger. Not only that, but Sho also took a liking to it, and seeing as Izuku was happily showing us the tiger and hugging him in front of us, there surely couldn't be anything wrong in having him as a pet. He looked like he knew how to behave too. However, he was still one huge cat, and we already had enough. So for now, he could have him, and we will talk about this later. Everything went extremely fast, and before I knew it, Izuku was already telling us what to do, and for once, show us to go and torture his class in any kind of way, and I was sure that he would do it too. Me, Izuku, and Hawks were currently going after Class 1B. That was until I realized that Nizu was not here. Me, hold up. We have lost Nizu. Izuku. No. He is with Aizawa. Me. Since when? Izuku. Since I told him. Did you listen to what I told you guys? Me. To be honest, I was still just shocked about the tiger. Izuku. You mean Tiny? Why? Hawks. AHM? Is that kid for real? Me. That kid is my son. Hawks. Okay, but is he serious? Izuku. Dead serious. I can't see your problem. Hawks. Should I tell him? Me. No. Izuku. Tell me what? Hawks. A tiger is not a cat, anyone, especially not a kid, should have as a pet. Izuku. Too bad Aizawa already said yes. Me. And I will need to talk with him about this later. Izuku. Oh, come on, pretty please. I swear he won't do a thing. I'll even talk with Nizu about him. Me. So why do I feel like I now know what Sho always meant with problem child? Izuku. That's because I am one, and I try to live up to the name to the fullest. Hawks. Ha ha ha, I like you, kid. Me. So what are we doing here again? Izuku. Trying to find out where Class 1B is. Hawks. I already checked if I can see them from above, but no. They know that I am with you. Izuku. No surprise here. The observers told them that after you changed to our side. After that little talk, we began walking down an empty alley and couldn't hear a single thing until Hawks told us that he found one of Class 1B member running away from us very close. Needless to say that we immediately split up and began chasing the hero. Hawks was flying from above while Izuku and I were running. Izuku. Go left and try to cut their way. Me on it. He didn't need to tell me that twice. And so I went to the left and was currently running in a parallel street towards Izuku. The abandoned and destroyed building were tall in this part, and I could barely see Hawks. After 5 minutes of running alone in the street, something began to feel off. I tried to touch the headphones I had and activate the communication between us villains, but to no way. Me. Seriously? Now you decide to break? There was no use in trying. My headphones were broken completely. So I did the next logic thing and began to call out for him. I remembered him saying once if something happened, we should be calling each other by our villain name. I still found his villain name very cute, and that's why I remembered his name very easily. If not for that, I would for sure have forgotten the name and call him by his true name. Me, Usagi. However, I couldn't hear anything at all. It was as if I was alone on the island. Where is he? Turning around, I began to look around only to find myself unable to remember from which alley I came from to the beginning. Shit, I got lost. I can hear Sho telling me how freaking stupid I am because I got lost on an island in a small city. I hate directions. I could cry right now. Izuku, where the fuck are you? I looked up and tried to see if I could spot Hawk's red feathers, but the sky was completely clear. No bird in sight. Me, ARG. How stupid can I be? A ways much. Me, huh? I turned around and saw one of the Class 1B students standing in the shadow of one building, even leaning against it. Me, look what we have here. A little listener. I don't know if I am lucky or if that is a bad omen. Kendo. Lucky for us, but a bad omen for you. Tokage. Definitely. In the next moment, I saw some sharp small particles that looked like scale flying towards me, and I immediately used my quirk on it. Me. Wait, H. It was the sound waves that mattered, and that through the scales, of course. As I was focusing my whole energy and attention to the scale, I missed that Kendo was running at me from behind me. Not only that, but a ways was too. Since I only saw a ways and the scales, I began to shift into a fight stance. I would rather attack him than let him touch me. His quirk was bad for me. So I run towards them, but as I was about to, that I felt someone grabbing me by my leg. Looking down, I saw a giant hand. Shit, I knew the person that was holding me, and once again, I could hear my dear husband's voice in my head telling me I was stupid and that I need to pay more attention to my surroundings. That was exactly the reason why I was a limelight hero and not an underground hero. My attention span was short, and I was never able to pay so much attention to my surroundings. Normally, I would be called to fight one villain, never a group. There was a good reason for that. Got you. She pulled me off the ground, which made me fall down face first, and in the next moment she threw me towards Tokage. I landed in front of her feet and looked up at her. Tokage. Hey there. Me. You wouldn't harm me now, would you? Tokage, who me? No, but these will. Then all the scales were focused on me, and it was game over. Before I managed to congratulate them, I could feel the effect of the bracelet and went limp. Tokage, he is out. Kendo, I wonder how many more we have to eliminate. Aways. Well, we know Hawks is in there, and Midoriya. Kendo. Yeah, we better hurry back to the other group. Tokage. Still can't believe that this worked. Aways. What do you mean? Tokage. I mean, we somehow managed to hide from Hawks, and then all we needed to do was have a group run around for Hawks to see them. How did you even know that they will split? Itsuka. Kendo. Well, that's what I would have done if I was chasing someone. Aways, right? Kendo. It was the next logic thing to split up and try to corner the enemy. We were only lucky that Hawks didn't see us this time. Tokage. But in the end, him screaming Usagi lead us to his correct position, otherwise we wouldn't have found him. Aways, true that. That was such an idiotic move. Kido, I still wonder who he meant with Usagi. A ways. Well, we'll find out soon enough. War Day 3. Here we come, Hawks. Up ahead is a group of 4 people. Final. This was getting boring. What are the heroes even thinking? Are they making a trap for us, or are they just dumbly hiding? I would go for the first option. Shit. If they're planning something, then we should better find them soon. Me? Lead the way. Why are they even there? Oh, well, I won't complain. Just don't mind me taking the opportunity. Me, Hawks, and Mike were currently on a hunt for Class 1B students. We were already half an hour outside and didn't ground any sightings, not even a single clue of where they could be hiding. That is at least until now. I let Hawks be up in the air and lead the way. The moment we could see the people, I decided it would be best to split up. It was, after all, not such a bad plan. Me, go left and try to cut their way. There was only one person that I could have directed the command since Hawks was up in the air and leading us towards a group of people. Mike, got it? I watched him turn the next corner while I was running straight. The group of people just ran and then suddenly stopped right in front of us. There was still a good distance between us. However, I could still tell who was in the group. The persons right there in front of us were no other than Bondo, Yanagi, Rin, and Komori. I would have loved to use my quirk on them and use the scythe that was currently on my back too. However, something fell off. It didn't make much sense to me for a group of heroes to run and suddenly stop besides it being a trap. A trap? Shit, I just sent Mike into a trap. Me, Hawks. Back off. While I screamed that at him, I came to a halt and turned around. We needed to go back and help Mike. I am so stupid. Why didn't I see that before? A group of 4 people standing in the middle of the road and chatting without worries. That's not the least bit suspicious. I am really a Deku. Damn it, I was so blinded by my rage. I wanted to get them out no matter what after what they did to my team. Shit, relax, Isaac, you can do it. Just focus again and think about the here and now. Don't let your emotion get in the way of thinking. I might let them run free the moment I get to fight them. My little friend on my shoulder is waiting to taste their blood. I am sure even the Grim Reaper will be jealous of my skills with it. Just you wait, I'll get you all out. Hawks. But Bunny? What's up? They're right there. We can finish them. He came flying towards me and then speed flying beside me, running with Ofa back to the only corner that I said might go. Me? It's a trap. While I was saying this, we could hear Mick's loud voice screaming, yeah. And in the next moment, I became the notification that he was gone. Me. SHIT. We both speeded around the corner, and there I saw Mike and 3 heroes. Me. Don't hold back. Hawks. I would never. Here is our chance. Let's do the most of it. I took the scythe from behind me, and the moment I was in front of Kendo, I used one end to cut right in her arm, which for sure would leave a scar. And more importantly, the force I used sent her flying towards the next building. But before she could hit the wall, Hawks picked her up with one of his feathers and sent her back flying towards me. I then jump-kicked her to the ground. Kendo bloody caught. I saw her coughing up some blood and hear Recovery Girl's voice that she was out of the game. Next, I saw a ways coming towards me and a couple of scales too. Powering Ofa up, I began to turn the scythe in circles around me in an incredible speed. And just like that, I began to destroy all the scales that Tokei had sent at me while also not giving Aways any chance in attacking me. Not that he could in the first place. Hawks landed behind to my side and took out 2 of his feathers like a twin sword. I then stopped twirling my scythe around after being happy with the damage I did. Get ready, here we come. Me, let's do this. That was the clue for us both to attack the persons in front of us. With the scythe in my hands, I began running at Tokei. There was nothing she could do with the speed I was running at her. I was after all using Ofa at 42%. Once I was close, I jumped into the air and readied the scythe in order to cut her chest. She had no chance in running. However, the cut I gave her was not meant to get her out of the game at all. It was made purposely in a way that Recovery Girl would not call her out. Tokei, Meow. This is only the beginning. Once I cut her, I quickly got behind her and was to cut her back if not for the fact that I just saw Bodo in the abandoned building and aiming at Hawks. Seeing that if he gets hit with the sticky stuff, he wouldn't be able to use his quick, I quickly jumped back. Next, I began running towards Tokei and then threw the scythe at the person in the window that was currently leaning out of the window. So they had a backup plan too? You will wish you never were there, buddy. The scream that followed and the notification was all I needed as confirmation that I just hit him with my scythe in the shoulder. I knew that for a fact since he fell out of the window and landed only 1 meter behind Hawks. My partner turned around to look at the person that just landed behind him. I, however, couldn't have that. Me, focus. There is no time for wondering now. Tokei was barely standing and shaking. I was sure that the pain was getting to her. Too bad that I was still not finished with her. And so I ran towards her and kicked her into the next wall. Before she could even fall to the ground, I took her by her throat and began suffocating her until her body fell limp and I heard Recovery Girl's voice. Hawks, they sure didn't put up a big fight. Looking at Hawks, I saw a Waze pinned to the wall with his feathers and a red line around his neck. It was not the red line that my knives make. No, it was blood. Me. Did you slightly cut his neck? Hawks. Yes. Got a problem with that? Me, nope. Hawks. Don't look at me like this. You slit her chest with your scythe and then hit the poor guy over there only a couple of centimeters above his heart. You could have fucking killed that guy. Me. I know, and I didn't aim at his heart, but the position above it. Hawks. Yeah, I forgot about your crazy aiming and shooting skills. Me. MHM. Hawks. Wait a moment. Aren't you supposed to have only weapons that are not lethal? Me. Every weapon I have besides that scythe is not deadly. Hawks. How come? Me. I sharpened it the other day. Hawks, you did what? Me. You know the moment when nothing went according to my plan, I made up another plan, and you need to go back to the boat. Hawks. WHAY? Me, listen. I need you to prepare it for me. Hawks. At least let me hunt Class 1 be down with you. Me. Okay, and remember, even if you were on the observer's boat, you were still a part of the villains team. Hawks. Oh, now I get it. You want me to spy on the rest of them? Me. Exactly. Hawks. Then I will gladly do that. Me, thanks. I went over to Bondo and picked up my bloody scythe. Hawks. I still forget how you managed to get that thing sharp. Me. The first day we arrived, I let May make something for me. I had a hunch that something like this will happen. Hawks, you did? Me. I am not stupid. I know my classmates that didn't came from under any rock either. Hawks, I see. Me. Enough chit-chat. Let's go and hunt them down. They should all remember my name. Hawks. I said. Just like that, he saluted in front of me before jumping into the air, and I began following him using my quirk in order to keep up with him, which was no problem, by the way. War Day 3, eyes and ears in the sky. Me and Hawks run back to where we first met the group of 4 heroes, but as expected, they were not around anymore. Hawks, I will go and search for them. Me, that won't be necessary. Hawks, how come? Me, since they nearly illuminated my team, it is time for me to do them the same favor. Hawks. Kid, you don't make any sense. Me, watch me. I put my hands to my mouth in order to whistle. I was never the big fan of that since I was not really able to do it every time, but this time I was lucky and managed to whistle. A sharp tone exited my mouth. Me. Scarecrow. Hawks, huh? He was looking at me perplexed where I was only looking at him and smile. Hawks. Izuku. You were freaking me out with that simple. Me. That is intentionally. Hawks. Why did you do that? You just gave away our posset. What the fuck is that? As he started to lecture me, he suddenly stopped and pointed behind me. Once I turned around, I saw the same group of birds that lead me to the underground villain lair of the crazy experiment lunatic of a villain. You know that? I pointed at them and turned back around to him. Me, don't worry about them. He was just looking at me creeped out by my smile, and I could literally see him shiver. Hawks, nope. No. These killer birds, we need to get out of here. Me, chill, Hawks. Hawks, chill. They will kill us. Me, oh, so you know them? Hawks, not personally, but every hero that saw what happened to the island knows them. They are a pain in the ass and killed multiple high-ranked heroes. Now let's move. Me, I said chill. Hawks, Izuku, please. They are no joke. Me, why can't you already take a chill pill? I turned back around and looked at the bird. One bird was flying in front of them, and his feathers looked a little bit darker than the rest of them. This must be the leader. Maybe he is even the one called Scarecrow and not the whole pack of them. I put my hand out as an offer for the bird to land on, and not even a second later the bird let himself fall to the ground, picking up even more speed. The moment he was close to me, he began flapping his wings to slow down and landed on my arm. Me, you have such pretty feathers. The moment I said that, I began to pet him slightly, and the bird responded to it positively. It even looked like he was proud of me saying that to him and praised him for his astonishing shiny and beautiful feathers. I watched him open his wings and pluck out a small feather. Me, what are you doing? I won't grow back. The bird just ignored me and slowly went towards my hand and put it down there. Me, for me? The bird nodded. Me, thanks. Next, the bird flapped his wings and landed on my shoulder. I looked at the small feather in my hand. Small was pretty relative since it was the size of half of my palm. Not only that, but it was in its hardened state. What a nice throwing knife this must be. Hawks. Only then I remembered that Hawks was still here, and I turned around. The poor guy looked terrified. There were a lot of birds all around us, somewhere in the air waiting to strike at him. Others were on the ground, and some were even in the broken windows, sitting there and watching us as well as on the rooftop. He was as pale as a ghost. His wings were puffed up and shaking like a leaf. Me, it's okay. Me, everything is fine. They won't attack us. Hawks. Oh, great. I just broke him. Me. Oh, y'all. No respond, his eyes wide open and his mouth too. Me. Earth to Hawks? You still there? Nah, I broke him. I wonder why? Was the pack of birds too much for him? But they are only crows. He should be okay with them. I mean, he's a Hawks. Wait, I AMA changed my statement. It's completely wrong. He can't deal with mutated crows. The crow on my side nudged me, and I looked at it. Scarecrow? CAW? I'm pretty sure he asked me what is wrong. Me. Well, Hawks.exe stopped working, and I do not know how to restart him. Scarecrow. CAW. As if it was a command, the smallest bird of the pack came flying towards Hawks in a less speedy way and began hovering in front of his face. Baby Scarecrow. CAW. It was such a cute noise, and it was even enough to wake him up from the trance. I was not even sure if he played dead to like being a statue or something like that. However, I was pretty sure I saw his soul leave his body earlier. Hacks. HHH, get that thing away from me. Scarecrow. CAW. The bird went away thanks to the command of the crow on my shoulder. Kalks, Izuku. I don't want to freak you out, but you have a killer bird on your shoulder. Me, I know. Hawks. You can't know you know? Me. Yes, and I already told you to chill. Hawks, this is Scarecrow and her pack? Come to think of it, I don't even know if you are a male or a female. Scarecrow. CAW. Me. So a male? He nodded to me. Me. Okay, so Hawks met Scarecrow. Scarecrow, this is Hawks. Hawks. WHA dash. You know what, I'm just gonna accept this one. I don't want an explanation. Me. I can't even give you one, so I am happy. Hawks, so you want to kill your classmates for real? Me, oh heck no, just traumatize and probably get them in hospital, that's all. Hawks. Me, what? I asked Nizu, and he never said I could not harm them mentally too. Hawks. You're something else. Me, Hawks, so why did you call them? Me. Oh, because they can actually help us find the others from Class 1B, right? Scarecrow. CAW. One noise, and every single bird on the ground was up in the air and ready to fly. Hawks. But that was my job. Me. And you failed. Remember, you couldn't find a single one of them after we went back. I even gave you 15 minutes to look around, and I am pretty sure they are still around here somewhere. They just didn't have enough time to get away with how we ran back here full speed. Hawks. I agree on that one, but still. Me. Relax, you will still help me get them out of the game. They will only locate them for us. Oaks? Fine. Me. Are you pouting? Hawks, no. Me, you sure? Hawks, yes. Me, really now? Oaks. Okay. Fine. Yes, I am. But only just a little bit. Me. PFFF. I turned my attention to the crow on my shoulder and petted it for a bit. Me. Scarecrow, can you find the other ones, please? Can you guys focus on the east part of the city? They are hiding somewhere here. Scarecrow. CAW. He jumped up into the air and flew in front of me. Then he nodded at me before flying up into the air and directing his pack to do what I said. We only had to wait 5 minutes before 8 birds came back. Me. Looks like they found them. Hawks. Okay, now I am jealous. Me. Shall we get going? Hawks. Of course, let us not waste any time. Baby bird. Me. I'm not freaking bird. If anything, I'm a bunny. Hawks. Haha, okay, bunny. Me. Scarecrow, lead the way to our first target. With that, we began following the crow with an incredible speed. From what I could tell, the bird was paying attention to us and not speed up at its maximum speed, but flying in one that we could actually keep up with. War Day 3. Let's start the payback, shall we? Once the Scarecrows found the people, they began leading us to their position. To our luck, they all lead us to a single building. Scarecrow. CAW. Once the crow landed on the next rock in front of the building and looked at us. Almost every crow landed on a close rock building, window opening too. Me. Hawks, locate them in this building. It was clear to me by how the crow acted that there were people in this building. There were even the 8 crows that were circling above the building. Hawks on it. Hawks landed close to me and sent a couple of feathers into the building. It didn't take for long for the feathers to return. Me. And Hawks. There are 2 on the way to the rooftop. 3 are in the entrance room, and the other 3 are in a room on the 3rd floor. Me. Thanks, Scarecrow, for the help. We got this from here on out. Hawks. We don't need you anymore. Me, Hawks. I couldn't believe his childish behavior. He puffed his wings up in order to look intimidating. Between a killer bird and a hero, the bird would win for sure. His behavior was only possible because I was there and the crows kind of followed my orders for some strange reason. I still couldn't get why they would even follow my command at all. I never have even encountered them before. Once the crow heard and saw Hawk's behavior, Scarecrow, the leader of them, changes the behavior of his wings and opened them. He was sure not happy to hear Hawk saying that. Scarecrow, CW, Hawks, I am sorry. Don't hurt me. Hawks closed his wings and avoided his gaze. Me, why would you even do this? Hawks, me, you jealous? Hawks, no. Me, yes, you are. Hawks, maybe. Me, you are so jealous. Hawks, okay, yes. Between every single one of my sentences, I went closer to him until he confessed. After that, I turned around, began walking towards the entrance. Me, thanks Scarecrow for helping us. That was the cue for them to fly away. Hawks was quickly following me towards the back of the building. I quickly took my scythe from behind my back. Me, let's scare them. Get us up on the roof, will ya? Hawks, I like that idea. He used 2 feathers and let them hover close to the ground in front of me. Hawks, jump on them. Following his comment, I put 1 foot on each of the feathers, and the moment I was on them, he began flying upwards and the feathers acted like an elevator. They began flying upwards until we were above the rooftop. Once we saw the 2 heroes come out on the roof, we looked at each other and nodded. It was a silent agreement. I quickly jumped down from the feathers. Me, everything good comes from above. With the scythe in my hands, I began falling towards them. Once I was about to hit the floor, I rolled myself on impact and quickly got into a kneeling position. Not only did I use the scythe to sweep them off the ground, but also to scare them. Shota, HHH, Kodai, watch out. However, it was already too late. Hawks took Shota away and flew with him very high up into the sky. Me, how about you focus on your own opponent? Kodai, what the? Before she could even react, I had my scythe around her neck and smiled at her. Kodai, Midoriya, me, no, I am Usagi. I didn't intend to get her out of the game by my scythe. This would be too easy. Instead, I turned around and jump kicked her while removing the scythe around her. She was immediately on the ground. I had no intention of letting her go that easy. Once I saw her standing up, I immediately used Ofa in order to be fast and duck and went to the side of her peripheral view in order for it to look like I just vanished, only for me to reappear behind her and slashing her back with the scythe. Again, it was not a deep cut, but it would for sure leave a scar. Kodai, HHHHHH. After that, I used my scythe to hawk her clothes on it and send her flying towards the opposite edge of the building. Next, I put away my scythe and went running towards her. There was no use in fighting me in a hand-to-hand combat. I was way too fast and strong for her, and so I managed to punch her into the gut and sweep her off the ground. She hit her head by the impact. I could tell that she was beginning to lose continues. It was all too much for her, and I was also sure that she would have a concussion. I wonder how it feels like to be in a free fall. I grabbed her by her foot and began dragging her towards the edge, which were only 2 or 3 steps away. Next, I let her dangle from the rooftop of a 13-story building. The only thing from preventing her from falling was my grip on her foot. Kodai, HHHH, don't let me go. Me, what? You want me to let you go? Kodai, Izuku no, me. Okay, as you wish. I'll let her drop. Before I did this, I looked up at Hawks and made sure we made eye contact. He needed to know what I was about to do. I didn't want to kill her after all. After making sure that he knew about it, I let my grip loose and ran towards Shota. Hawks was only flying around in the sky with him, throwing him up and letting him drop down multiple times until throwing him towards the rooftop store. Once I let go, I immediately started running towards Shota and took my scythe out this time. I wanted to nail him towards the door. Shota, HHH. He dodged and my scythe stuck into the door. It took me only a good pull with using my quirk, and I had it back out. Shota looked at me screaming and backing away. I could see him panic, and he was definitely afraid of me. All I did in return was smile like the Cheshire Cat and slowly began approach him. Me, oh, how cute you are right now. I bet you would look even better with some blood on your face. My side was already spilled with Kawai's blood, and all I did was licking the dripping blood on it and looking at Shota. The poor boy passed out in front of me because of that. Me, that was no fun at all. I went to the boy's body and looked at him. Hawks, why did you need to let her go? Me, I needed to sprinkle her with a little bit of trauma. Hawks, don't do that again. I nearly couldn't catch her. Me, you are the fastest hero. Hawks, I know, but free fall? Seriously? Me, she begged me to drop her. Hawks, Izuku. Me. Wrong. Call me Usagi. Hawks. Me. So what happened to her? Hawks. She passed out, and I eliminated her, and what's with him? Me. Just unconscious, but still in the game. Hawks. Why are you smiling like that? Me like what? Hawks. Like a villain? Seriously, stop that. It's creeping me out. Me good? I took Shota by the collar, went to the door, and stopped right in the frame looking back at Hawks. Me, you coming? After that, I went down the stairs. Hawks said there will be 3 people on the 3rd floor, and that was where I was heading currently. Shota was still in my grasp, but he surely would feel the pain after dragging him down 10 stories on stairs. Hawks, ouch. That will for sure hurt. Me. Not my problem. War Day 3. Horror and pain. Once we arrived at the 3rd floor, I went and began to look into each room, but after checking a couple of them, I could hear some laughter. How stupid can they be? I began walking towards the door and only topped a couple of meters in front of it before throwing Shota against it, smashing the door open and jumping inside with my scythe in my hand. Me, what's up, bitches? Komori. Midoriya. Yanagi. Is there Dash? Rin. What have you done? I couldn't care less about what they would do, and so I walked into the room, twirling my scythe in my hands and showing off with it while also smiling like a maniac. Me, oh, nothing really. Their eyes began to wander towards my bloody scythe. Rin, Midoriya, me. AHM, no, you are wrong. I am Usagi. That was my clue to attack them. Without even a warning, Hawk's feathers pined them all towards the next wall, and I went towards them with my scythe. Some of them managed to get out of the feather grip. All they needed to do was rip of their costume a little bit, nothing more and nothing less. Hawks was still not harming them, whereas I was fully intended to go for it. They began all scattering, and the moment they did that, I went after Shota. There were only 2 options they could do. 1, ignoring a comrade, and 2, go there and fight me in order to get some time to escape. Knowing that they would go for door number 2, I readied my scythe and threw it at the 3rd person. My guess was that only 2 people would go to save Shota while 1 was getting help. Once I pinned the person to the wall with my scythe, piercing through their shoulder. Hawks went towards the other person and began dealing with Komori. Hawks, and where do you think you were going, chicken? I left them with Komori alone and focused on the fight before me. The formation they took was pretty easy. 1 was behind with Shota, trying to get him to wake up and get out while the other was fighting me. Rin was my first opponent. Me, you know you can't harm me. He began sprinting at me with his arm covered in scales. Rin? Oh really? Let's see about that. It was rather simply to dodge that and every other try of getting me. I began counting his attacks, and after exactly 13 tries, I decided it was my turn now. Me, I am sorry, but you have exited all you try. It's my turn now. While I said that, I caught his fist in midair and looked at him. I tried to muster all the blood lust I had and smiled at him, revealing my teeth. Next, I punched direct into his face without even using my quirk. His nose immediately began bleeding because of it. Me, oh look, I broke your nose. Let's see what else I can break. I then began to crack my knuckles in order to freak him out even more. It worked, and Rin began backing away, holding his nose and looking at me with wide eyes. Me, shall we start? He began shaking his head. Me, okay, then get ready, here I go. Without further ado, I ran at him and sidestepping to get behind him and kick Yanagi to her side, getting her away from Shota and send her flying towards Komori. Komori, ARG, Yanagi, URG. Next, I turn around and sidestep to the side and punch him into the face from the side, while his heads began turning because of the impact. Next, I jumped using Ofa and grabbed his head, sending him flying down head, first still holding his head and only releasing him upon impact. I could hear his head breaking, and I heard Recovery Girl screaming at me, but I ignored him. Rin was out. Now I turned around and saw everyone looking at me. Me what? Do I have something on my face? I then began walking over to Hawks. Shota was still on the ground, unconscious. Thanks to all the blood loose, Komori was also out. The only one left was Rin, and she was begging me to let her go. But who would I be doing that? I went to Komori, got my scythe, and let the blade drop to the ground, cocked my head to the side, and look at the poor last girl standing in the room. She was on the ground and backing away until she hit the wall across the room. Yanagi, no, please. I began walking over to her, pulling my scythe over the ground and still look at her very creepily before taking the scythe into the air and letting it fall right in front of her. The whole time I dragged the scythe over, it made a very annoying noise. Me, oh my bad. Next time I won't miss. Yanagi, Kaya. Once again, I got my scythe into the air, and I was about to let it drop, if not for one of Hawk's feather holding me back, and another one's cutting her neck slightly. Me. Oy-yi. Hawks, no. That was enough. Me. You are no fun. I am now regretting not sending you to the boat too. Hawks. What do you mean? Me. I already told Nizu the plan. I kind of knew that this would happen, even if I hoped that my team could have reminded till the last moment. But oh well, this is fun as well. Hawks, plan? Me. You really thought the island was the only war zone? Hawks, oh no. Me. Oh yes. Hawks. Nah, you wouldn't. Me, oh I would. And I am giving my team another chance after getting the hero out. Hawks. Do the other observer know? Me nah. Hawks. You sure this is a good idea? Me. We have Nizu on our team, so I would not mind that. Hawks. I have no words for you. Me what? I'm just bored like Nizu. Now, let's go. We still have 3 to go before you go to the ship yourself. Hawks. Oh my lord, I feel like they will be terrified, but at the same time I feel like this will be fun. My plan was getting my team on the ship and give me the whole plan of the ship so that we could attack the observes after we finish all my fellow classmates. War Day 3. There was a Class 1B? Well, now they're gone XD. Since Shoto was still conscientious and there were 3 more people on the ground floor, I went to the boy's side and was about to grab him by the collar if not for Hawks stopping me. Hawks. I will take him. Me. He isn't worth it, so it's fine. I just went past him, took the boy by the collar, and started dragging him out of the room. Hawks. You know, I can carry him if you don't want to. Me. And why do I want that? Hawks. It's not as loud. Me. A question, not an answer. Besides, I don't care. I had my scythe on hand, and it was leaning against my shoulder while I had Shota's collar in my other, and walked out of the room towards the staircase and down the stairs. Once we were on the ground floor, I was sure I wanted to scare them, so I did the only thing that was logical. Me. Go in with Shota as your hostage. Hawks. Where are you going, Birdie? Me. Bunny. Hawks. Okay. Where are you going, Bunny? Me. There's a vent system. I will vent there. Hawks. I won't even question you anymore, so take care. Me, thanks. Oh, and take my scythe with you. Just throw it to me the moment I land. Hawks. Okie dokie, Bunny. Just like that, I went over to the vent system, opened the hatch, and went inside. Since there was only one direction I could crawl, because the other would lead away from the front entrance away, it was not that hard to guess which direction I needed to go. So I started venting, and the moment I was there, I quietly removed the lid and watched the show for a bit. Hawks went into the room with a flying scythe, or so it seemed since the scythe was held up in the air by one feather. Now it was Hawks' turn to drag Shota into the room and throw him right in front of the heroes. Hawks, nice try guarding the sky, but you know, the sky is my territory. Kamakiri, I will take him. Tsuburaba, Nairenjiki is just unconscious, not out of the game. Kaibara, why does he have blood splashes all over him? I then decided to jump down. The moment I landed, a scythe was thrown in my directions. Tsuburaba, wow, careful at whom you were throwing that thing. Me, oh, he didn't target you guys, but I will. With that said, they all turned around with wide eyes and immediately jumped back, leaving Shota in front of me. I made sure to land right behind them. It was only a lucky coincidence that they were standing right 1 meter away from where I landed. Kaibara, how did you get here? Kamakiri, Midoriya, me, ARG, why can't you guys get it straight? I am Usagi, the killer rabbit, Tsuburaba, 3 against 2. You have no chance in winning this. Me. Then let's even out the numbers, shall we? I ran straight at Kamakiri and used my scythe in order to break the blades that he made with his quirk. It was very easy breaking them. I just had to use OFA at 42% running and using it in my hand to force my weapon to cut through it. It also helped that Mei designed my scythe out of a rare earth material that was nearly unbreakable. Me, how nice try? As I was swinging the scythe into the air and trying to scare him, not hurt him yet, I was sure I looked like I was dancing around with it. The goal was letting Kamakiri know that no matter how many times he uses his quirk, I could cut through it and he had no defense. After a couple of times doing that, I got bored and went ahead to attack him, this time for real. Meantime, I could see Hawks from the corner of my eyes defending me and not letting the others come in my way, but at the same time also not eliminating them, which I was very grateful for. Kamakiri, how? Me. I don't talk, just watch. I jumped up into the air using the scythe as a shield, twirling it in front of me and cutting Kamakiri's arms. He made 2 blades, but both broke, and I managed to cut him right a millimeter above them. Next, I kicked him away and then forced him to his knees. Kamakiri, Sidestepping him, I went behind him and positioned my scythe around his neck. Mio, heroes! Watch me. I then slices his neck open slightly. It sure hurt and stung, but it was not lethal. Kaibara, no. Once I did that, thanks to the bracelet, he collapsed right on spot and the blood was now dripping on the floor. It was the perfect image of a dead body, although he was not dead, but for the heroes in front of me, it sure must have looked as if I killed him. I could see Hawk's face, and it looked as shocked as the others. He even dropped his feathers for a moment that were holding the heroes in check. He only snapped out of it when Kaibara ran past him straight at me. So we have a volunteer for the next trick. How great, Kaibara. You will pay for that. Me. Let's see about this. He came at me, and I began running at him with the scythe in my hands. Me. Ah ha ha ha. Yes, I was running, laughing like crazy at him. I was sure I was currently looking like a maniac too, but it couldn't be helped. I wanted to intimidate him and scare him at the same time, and it worked. He was still running at me, but I saw that his speed had dropped even so slightly. Once I was at his side, I dodged the punch and used my scythe to cut him, and then I used the other end of the scythe to ram it into his stomach. He was now coughing up blood and trying to get a chance to attack me, but I was very fast and I was sidestepping him, dodging and moving all around him while cutting him everywhere. They were only shallow cuts, but they were hurting and slowing him down. Once I was satisfied on how bloody he looked, I kicked him from behind right at the place of his knees, forcing him to the ground. Then used the scythe to jump into the air and in front of him. Me. Are we getting tired now, hero? I didn't need to see his face as he started to stand up and spit some blood on the ground before once again charging at me. Me. So you never learn, huh? I began running at him just to turn right in front of him and running in circles using Opha around him. The green lighting became visible, and at some point I stopped my running and jumped at him. He was lucky that he managed to dodge the attack, but for the second attack, there was no way he could. I used the scythe and was about to slash him only to hit the floor and let the blade get stuck in order to use it to pull myself towards it and kick Kaibara away. Me. Shall we end this? With a loud bambi, he not only smashed into the wall, but the wall also began to crack just because I used my quirk while kicking him. Getting my scythe out of the floor, I began dragging it towards him a couple of feeds before starting to run at him and slashing his chest open. It was a little deeper than the other cuts, still not lethal though. It was only deadly if left untended. Lucky for me, I knew that Ectoplasm had some clones on this island walking around since Hawks was on our side, and they had a helicopter where they transport all eliminated person out of the island. Recovery Girl would naturally be in there too. Now that I eliminated another person, I turned around and saw Hawks having all his feathers in the air and pointing it towards Tibiraba. He had no chance in moving around since they were way too close. Me. Eliminate the other twos. Hawks, your wish is my command. Hi. I always wanted to say that once. I watched him let his feathers sunk slightly into Tsubiraba's skin just to cut him nothing more, nothing less, and then went towards Shota and cut an X right there where his heart would be. Hawks, it's over now. Me, yes. Hawks, well, that was a lot easier and scarier than I thought. Me, if you ask me, then they deserve it. Hawks, you really have a grudge against them. Me, well, of course. Me, it's your turn to get my key players back into the game and be my eyes and ears on the boat. Hawks, I understand. Me, find Nizu and he will tell you what I mean with key players. They know. Hawks, okay, let's win this. Me, oh, we will be glorious. With it, I saw Hawks taking off and leave the island. His mission was to infiltrate the ship, find out where all the villains and heroes go that we're eliminating, talk to Nizu and also telling me what he sees from the drones. He would warn me if there would be any traps laid out for me. That was our deal. As for Nizu, he was the one preparing everything else. Not only was I about to bring Nizu and Aizawa back into the game, but I also was about to attack the ship's observers with all my fellow villains. War Day 3. Are we rooting for him? Yes, definitely. Third POV. Inside Opha. 1. He got his cat. They approved. 2. You serious? 7. Why not? I mean, Eraserhead liked him too. 5. He's just a crazy cat person like you. 4. If not even more. 6. Nah. 7 is crazier. 2 agree. 7. HEIJ, that's just mean. 1. Well, I approve of the tiger being his new pet. 3. Can someone please tell me why the tiger is like this towards our 9? 4. Who knows? Maybe he is madly in love. 6. I think there is more to it. 1. I agree, seeing as they lead him to the true villain's lair on the island. There must be some meaning to it. 7. Do you think the answer lays in the documents he was reading through? 1. I believe so. There is a reason why the person never wrote that the animals attacked him, and I think the same reason is the cause why they are not attacking R9. 4. Sounds plausible, but what reason can that be? 5. Who knows, that was a crazy lab. 2. Agree. Maybe some aura shit or something else. Time skip brought to you by Izuku being a master wielder of the scythe and eliminating his first 4 people on this day. 3. The scythe is so pretty. Do you think I can have one too? 2. If you want to be the Grim Reaper, then sure, go ahead. 4. PFFFFFHaha. 6. I don't get it. Why is 4 laughing? 7. That was a good one. 1. I remember how much you love weapons. 3. Just look at the beauty. 5. How about instead of looking the weapon, you look at 9? He is goddamn good with using it. Like, damn, that are some good moves. Where did he learn that? 2. I say it comes natural. 6. This much? 2. Yes. All his movements are flawless. He never did a motion more or less, only the necessary amount in order to get the job done and to get his goal. 4. I don't care how he got these skills. He looks like he had some fun. 1. Yes, and we can see that he is stronger than any of us. 3. I just don't want to face him as an opponent. He is scary. 1. I am sure he was just warming up. 6. What makes you say that? 1. Because he still hasn't traumatized them yet, and he asked Nizu before the game started how much he was allowed to hurt them. 7. I see. He still hasn't done it yet. 3. Oh, that will be a spectacle. 5. Now should we lay back and watch the show? 1. Yes. 7. Definitely. 3. You two are extremely excited about this. 7. Of course, it's our green bean. He will finally show them what he is capable of and won't hold back. Time skip brought to you by Izuku, having a new pack of crows at his side. 4. You fucking kidding me right now? 6. How many crows are there? 3. All of them. 5. Way too much. 2. Where did he get all of them? 1. HM2. He is on a freaking island with mutated animals. Hate to break it to you, but of course they also will be birds on it. From the looks of it, those were all the bird from the complete island. 2. I know that they are on a freaking island. I am not that dumb. 1. Just making sure. 2. Are saying I am dumb? 3. Well, you were sometimes. 4. Appu will soon die another time. 2. Oh, sorry, mister, I know everything not. 3. HM, is there anywhere where I can run to? 4. No, but we already died once, so there shouldn't be any problems. 2. Huh? Come here. 3. Dying noises. 2. Done. 1. AHM, I would say I can see his soul leaving the body, but he has no body. So I can see his soul leaving his fleshless soul-made body, if that makes any sense. 7. I know what you mean, and it looks scary. 5. Didn't know this was even possible. 2. Anyone else ready to die? 3. Shapper inhale. I am back, bitches. 2. You want to die again? 3. No. 5. 3. Shut your goddamn mouth. 3. 7. Oh, look, they have found them. 4. What is that red chicken doing? 6. Ha. 7. Is he trying to intimidate the birds while hiding behind my green bean? 1. Yep. 4. He is stupid. 2. Agree. 6. Doesn't he know that these birds can kill him? 4. I think he does, but he knows that he will be safe with Zuko there. 3. Did you call him Zuko? 4. Yes. Why use the number when we all know that he is the greatest of us all, and it feels wrong calling him 9? 7, right? 3. 1. What do you say? 1. I will call him Izu from now on. 2. Looks like we all agree. Time skip brought to you by Izuku, getting out every single member of Class 1B. 4. Wow. 5. I dash. I am speechless. 3. The scythe was so beautiful and the blood on it. Asu beautiful. 2. Can someone get 3 down their trip? 6. AHM, there is drug involved. How do you think we should do that? 2. Do I need to kill again? 3. Nope, I am good. 5. Well, he did manage to get me shivering and having goosebumps even if I don't have a body. 4. Yep. I felt the shiver down my imaginary spine. 1. It doesn't surprise me, and I'm looking forward to him capturing the boat. 6. The cruiser. 7. Oh, hell yeah. 2. Don't tell me. Hinabiro. This is too much. But I love it. 5. Who doesn't? This is the best show we have seen since ever. 4. So we all agree with the bloodlust? 1. It's not like he is a killer or anything, so it's fine. 7. Trauma build character, so he is making them a favor. 2. What the heck? 7. 7. It's true. Just look at us. 5. Sadly, yes, that is true. 1. I don't know how you guys feel, but I am hyped watching him defeat Class 1A, his own class. Everyone else, yeah. War Day 3. Team up. Third POV. Observer Room. Gran Torino. Oh, what a nice day. Mirko. Too bad that this will be over soon. Recovery Girl. I wouldn't be that sure. Mirko, why? Gran Torino. The villain's side is way too quiet. Ragdoll. You think they still have a chance? Mandalay. They still have Aizawa and Nizu. Recovery Girl. I would watch Izuku Midoriya. He managed to beat Aizawa once. Ragdoll, no way. 13. It's true. Want to see the picture? Ragdoll, yes. Pixie Bob. While I never knew that it was even possible to get him wrapped up in his own capture gear. Tiger. That looks wild. Mandalay. I wish I could have seen that happen. Time skip brought to you by Nizu playing dead in front of a tiger. Tiger? A tiger? Madali. Were the animals not supposed to stay in the jungle? Mirko. I thought so too. They never came out of the fall from this city. Sir Nightai. It is not something new to know that cats are really curious. Ragdoll. Curious, yes, but petting a wild tiger. Pixie Bob. Mutated wild tiger. Tiger. That is going a little bit too far. Recovery Girl. I wonder why the tiger is acting that way towards Izuku. Gran Torino. Who know? Recovery Girl. I sweat you have a death wish. Endeavor. That tiger needs to be put down. We now have at least a chance to fight these creatures from hell. Gran Torino. This island is their home. No one is going to kill them. Endeavor. They attacked the fucking city and the heroes saving the people once. What do you think will happen if they all start appearing in the city with the students there? Mirko. Good point. Recovery Girl. As you can see, there is only a tiger in the city, and that one is listening to Izuku. Endeavor. And what if that fucking villain tells him to murder people? Recovery Girl. You did not just call him a villain. Endeavor. I did. What do you want to do now? Recovery Girl. Oh, I won't do a thing. It's his turn now. Endeavor is? Gran Torino. Oh, thank you. Just like that, Gran Torino began tackling him and jumped kicking him for a whole 5 minutes until Endeavor fell to his knees. Next, Recovery Girl went to his side, right in front of him. Recovery Girl, you never learn, do you? And with that, she made the finishing blow and hit him right in his no-no zone, making sure he would be unable to make any more Todoroki pawns to beat the number one. Recovery Girl, now I saved a woman from getting raped. I can happily say I made a good deed today. Time skip brought to you by Nizu and Aizawa getting out of the game and infiltrating the boat. Recovery Girl, I will go to the villain's observer room. Gran Torino, I am following you. Endeavor, sure, go away, witch. Recovery Girl, you are lucky I want to have some great tea, or else I would have made sure that you would not be able to use your quirk anymore. Endeavor, PFF, there is no way you can do that. Recovery Girl, want to find out? Endeavor, there is no such thing, right? Sir Night-Eye, don't look at me. I don't know, and I do not want to see your future. Recovery Girl and Gran Torino went out of the room, leaving a confused hero behind in a silent room. Everyone knew not to joke with her. Everyone besides a certain great hero. Once she arrived at the villain observer room, she saw All Might cursing at how stupid his successor is, and that he was right, that he was a failure, and so on. Nizu. Achio. Recovery Girl. Nizu. Do tell me how you could be tricked just like that. Nizu. Was I really? Recovery Girl. Your eyes. What are you planning? Nizu. Nothing. Ryasuri Girl. Spill it out or I'ma whack you so hard you won't be able to drink tea for the next week. Nizu. Fine. Izuku had so many plans on his desk, and I have read every single one. He also knew that the vent system would be a trap, or more like he calculated it in his plan. I only saw the outcome of what would happen if every one of us would be eliminated. Gran Torino. And that would be Nizu. To put it quite simple, pure chaos. Recovery Girl. More language, please. Nizu. He plans on taking the boat over. Recovery Girl. This boat? Why? Nizu. Isn't it obvious? Gran Torino. He wants us to be a part in the game too. Nizu. Exactly. You can choose to either be on this team or stay an observer. Recovery Girl. It was getting boring either way. Nizu. Splendid. Aizawa went over to the trio because they began laughing like crazy and it freaked everyone else out. Aizawa. Why are you laughing, Nizu? Nizu. Oh, just thinking about what will happen. Aizawa. Do I want to know? Nifu. No. All you have to know is that we will be in the game very soon. Aizawa. That good damn problem child. Recovery Girl. How? Aizawa. What do you know that I don't? When did he even talk to you about this? Nizu. He didn't. Remember all the drafts of plans he had on the table. Aizawa, yes. Nizu. I read through them all. Aizawa. So he was planning that while stayed awake the whole night. Nizu. Apparently yes. Recovery girl. When will he be doing this? Nizu. As soon as Class 1B is out of the game, he was planning on getting me and Aizawa back to the island, but I will decline this opportunity. Gran Torino, why? Nizu. Because it will be fun watching him destroy Class 1A. On top of that, I can also help him from here. Recovery girl? Of course you will. Aizawa. I get another take in bringing my class down? Nizu, yes. Aizawa. I love my problem child. Time skip brought to you by Mike trying to ignore Aizawa's shouting and lecturing on how dumb he was. Aizawa. Mike, you stupid-ass cockatoo. How could you fall for something like that? Why were you even shouting for Izuku? Mik. I'm sorry. Aizawa. You are an idiot. Mike. I told you I am sorry. Aizawa. Sorry won't save your ass. If this was a real villain scenario, then you would have been dead. Mike, I know. Aizawa, you know? Then tell me why the fuck did you think this was a good damn idea? Mike. Well, for starts, I wanted to find Izuku fast. Midnight. AHM show. Don't be hard on him. Aizawa. And what was with you? Mingit. URG. Aizawa. Walking up to an alley only because you thought you knew what was going on there? What happened with your brain? Did you never even once thought that they might ambush you? Midnight. I am sorry. Aizawa. Not only that, but you were a pro and you got beaten by Vlad's class. Midnight. I am sorry, I learned my lesson show. Vlad King. What should I say, my class is good? Aizawa. Don't even let me start with what happened to you. Vlad King, oh. Aizawa. Getting yourself lost in a fucking city in the enemy's territory. Do you fucking have a death wish? Vlad King. Well, I was never good with directions. Aizawa. Oh. And why was my useless class able to beat you? Vlad King. I was just tired, that was all. Aizawa. Want a retake? I can ask Nizu about letting my class go against you, and you alone. Vlad King. No thanks. Aizawa. Thought so. Luckily, the other pro heroes in the room knew better than to say something to Aizawa in this moment. Time skip brought to you by a pack of birds circling around all the drones. Mirko. What's up with these bird? Tiger. Maybe the drone is irritating them. Pixie Bob. That might be it. Mandalay. Maybe they even think the drone is a bird. Sir Night Eye. Most likely. This is some territorial behavior. Recovery girl whispering that is for sure Izuku's doing. 13. Did you say anything? Recovery girl, no. Not at all. Time skip brought to you by Izuku, making a name for himself as Usagi. Endeavor. I knew it. That is a fucking villain right there. Gran Torino. HM. Recovery girl, would you please bring them in? Ragdoll. Bring who in? It took Recovery girl only 15 minutes to leave and come back with Aizawa and Nizu. They were for sure about to only talk things out. Meanwhile, Izuku was telling Hawks that he needed to return to the boat, and so the fastest hero was on his way back. Aizawa. Why am I here? Nizu. Good question. You should leave right now. Aizawa. What a waste of time. Mandalay. Hey, Eraserhead. Long time no see. Ragdoll. Your class really did get you out of the game. Aizawa. Whatever. Since Aizawa knew about Izuku's plan, and since he wanted to have a redo, he began walking out of the room and towards the deck of the ship. There he went, Hawks. Nizu. So, how is everyone enjoying the show so far? Ragdoll, I am happy we accepted your invitation. Mirko, you know, for blackmailing me into this is actually pretty fun. Nizu, that is good to hear. I just want to let you know that it will get better. Endeavor, you bet. My son will eliminate the villain. Nizu, I sure hope you are only speaking of his title in the game. Endeavor, no. This boy is the devil himself. I suggest putting him in jail after finishing the game or in a mental asylum. Nizu, if anyone needs to be put in jail, then that one would be you. Hound Dog, add the mental asylum to it too. You love for fire is not healthy nor normal. Recovery girl, let me put him to sleep. Nizu, no. Let me deal with this. Nizu began to approach Endeavor casually while also loosening his tie. He then took his jacket off before attacking him. Hound Dog, can someone please film this? Recovery girl, I'm already doing this. Ectoplasm, I am betting on Nizu. Gran Torino, a bet would be pointless since it is quite clear that Nizu would win. After only 5 minutes, Endeavor was laying on the ground. Nizu, that was some good exercise. Now where were we? Mirko, enjoying the show? Nizu, alright. If you don't mind, I would love to stay here and watch it with you guys. Sir Night Eye, of course not. War Day 4. The past. Tiny's POV. I didn't know why I was attracted to this human child, but something about him reminded me about our creator. He has the same smell, aura, and even looked a little bit like a younger version of him. The moment I smelled him, I thought that our creator was coming back to the island, but I was wrong. He was the only human that cared for us. All the different people in his home were false people. We all hated them. They never cared for us. All of us hated them. All they did was only experiment on us. Our creator was different. He gave us a unique ability and cared for us. It was really tragic to see that he was not the boss. We only ever saw him and a couple of people in white clothes. One time there was a person with complete black clothing. We hated him. He always looked down on our creator, threatening and hurting him. The boss was mean to us and he loved hurting us, seeing our blood, and even forcing us to use our gift from our creator until we would faint. I still remember our creator's voice. I only wish that my son Izuku could see you guys. He loves heroes and animals. His favorite animal is a white tiger. Too bad that I can't see him anymore. He would always talk to us, and we would listen to his every word. He was our light in this dark world we lived in. We are all connected through our blood. I needed to use my blood in order to gift you all an ability. They might not be the same as they wanted me to give you, but I would never force a quirk on you that I know will hurt you guys. I want you to know that I care for all of you, and that the ability I gift you is one that is specifically designed for you based on your abilities in animal DNA. Our creator once told us his quirk. He told us it was a unique ability that let him use his blood in order to change one's DNA. He said that a quirk wood is written in a person's DNA, and he was able to rewrite that very own thing. He also mentioned that he didn't want his son to have an ability that would kill him, and so he removed it. We also heard him complaining about some gas he was making, but we didn't know much about it. The only thing we knew was that he was working on a gas made out of his blood and mixed without another ability. One thing was for sure, it was meant to be a weapon, and we understand that much. Now thinking about it, the boy that I was watching was named Izuku. That might be only a coincidence, but they looked similar too. This couldn't be one for sure. I regret my choices. If I just never had accepted the job offer, then I would be still at home with my wife and my 4-year-old son. We knew from his emotions and body language that he hated to be here. Our creator was even frightened from all the others. The only thing keeping him here was us, and we knew that fact. I regret leaving my family telling them I would go and buy some milk. Who would have thought that my trip would lead me here? Don't get me wrong, I love you guys, and I am happy to be with you, but my family, I also missing my family. I only hope they are waiting for me after all these years. I couldn't remember if he even told me how he got to the island, but as far as I can tell, he was tricked and forced to get here. The boss even threatened his son's life. For that we were angry and we wanted to get free and get our creator back home. With that in mind, we fought every single person that would approach us. Listen closely, Tiny. At the first chance of escaping, you guys need to get out of here. This place is not a good place for you. You guys are like family too. Tiny promised me that you will care for every one of your brothers and sisters. You are Big Pride. No one will be left behind. Always remember that. The day the heroes came, our creator went toward our cages and let us all out. Go, Tiny. Always remember what I told you, my dear friend. Always remember you are never alone. Take care of your pride. That was the last time I saw him. I always hoped that the heroes saved our creator. His scent stopped in the underground cave, and we never got where he went. It was as if he vanished from the island we call our home. The day the heroes came, everything went wrong. We got so scared and terrified that we attacked everyone that came close to us. It was only natural. My creator told me to fight and protect my pride, and that was what I did. No matter who came towards us, I didn't know their intention. We, especially me, were simply afraid that they would take our freedom away again. The freedom our creator gave us. After all, we didn't know these persons. After that day, the humans left, and everything went our way. It was nice on the island. We didn't have any issues at all. Now, after discovering someone with the same aura and gentle personality that reminded me so much of our creator, I decided to check the person out. I only needed a couple of hours to see that I was not the only one thinking that must be our creator's son. We owed him our lives. He protected us from the other bad people in white and the black clothed boss. He always treated us kindly, and this was a one-in-a-lifetime chance to repay our creator's good deed. There was no way we would not take this chance up. After Izuku, my new master, was alone on the island without a team, I decided to walk up to him and walk him to a building in order to rest there. I would make sure that he would enjoy his life and be safe from now on. There was nothing that could stop me. It was my place to be by his side. I could feel it. This was the purpose our creator meant for me. I stayed the whole night by his side, not letting him go away. He needed some rest after all. War Day 4. Welcome Dadzawa. I don't know why, but last night Tiny didn't want to be away from me. The moment Hawks left, he came up to me and guided me to an abandoned building and then made sure that I would not leave the building, but instead rest. Don't get me wrong. I did think it was cute of him and even appreciated, but I also had planned to scare Class 1A and find Aizawa, who was now for sure on the island too. This was one good night's sleep. I was laying close and half on the tiger. He felt cool to the touch, but not as cool as I thought at first. The air around him was a little chill, but I soon realized that he could change the temperature around him as he pleases and that he was considerable about me. His fur was really soft, and it didn't take me long to sleep close to him for the whole night. It was early the morning when I finally woke up. I could see that Tiny was already up and just laying there in order not to wake me up. Shit, Aizawa. I was supposed to meet Hawks and him after what I did last night. Still not wanting to be rude, I slowly stood up. The tiger soon followed me and stood beside me. Me? Good morning, Tiny. Tiny roar. He looked calm, and I could tell that he wanted to say something. Only thing was that I would not be able to understand him no matter what, but I also didn't need to. I loved him. I knew that much, and I knew that my pet was the best in the world. I saw him glance over to the door a couple of times. This was a little bit suspicious for me. There was clearly something he wanted to tell me, and I had my assumptions that he meant my Dadzawa. Me. Do you know where Aizawa is? Aizawa? Morning, problem child. The moment I heard his voice, I immediately turned towards the door. Without any warning, Aizawa went into the room I was in with my tiger. Huh? Since when were you there? How did you even find me? What? Wait. My eyes moved from Aizawa to Tiny, and he nodded back to me. Me. So you really are the one behind this. Aizawa. It was this fella, to be precise. I looked back at Aizawa and saw that a cat. It began walking from behind him towards me and Tiny, and only stopped 2 meters in front of us. Tiny roar. The cat immediately looked from Tiny towards me and then bowed, which made me freak out a little bit since I didn't know what was happening. Me. So this cat brought you here? Aizawa. More like teleported. Me. Oh. Aizawa. Do you know if he has a name? Me. No. Aizawa. How about we name him Kotetsu? Kotetsu Mew. Tiny roar. Me looks like you like it. So does that mean we adopted another cat? Aizawa, yes. Me. YSSS. You are the best. Without even thinking, I run at Aizawa and tackled him into a hug. Lucky for us, he didn't fall down to the ground, but instead he returned my hug. After a couple of minutes, I broke up our hug and looked up at Aizawa and gave him one of the best and honest smiles I could muster. Me. Thanks, Dadzawa. I could see him smile the moment I said that. He also tried to hid his smile in his scarf. Aizawa, I am. Let's go and pay my class a visit, shall we? Me, yes. That reminds me. I don't want them to know about the animals on our side yet. Aizawa. You mean more like army. Me, huh? Aizawa. Kid, all the birds are sitting outside on the rooftop and in every single window of this building. Me what? Tiny roar. Me? There could only be one reason for that. They're trying to protect us. Aizawa. No, you. They are protecting and watching over you. Me. Well, either ways, I'm happy about it, and I appreciate it a lot. Aizawa. Thank you, Tiny, for protecting my son. Tiny roar. Aizawa. What's your plan, kid? Me, my plan? Simple, get Hawks to tell us where they are, go there, attack, and traumatize them, and walk out of the building. I don't want to give them any chance on leaving the building at all. But if they do, they will be my prey. Aizawa, I understand. Me. Well, then let me quickly contact Hawks. Just like that, I tapped at the earbud I had and called him. Hawks, bunny. Me, chicken. Hawks. AW, that was mean. Me. No, it was not, since you love chicken so much. Hawks. Fine, I will let this slip, but only because it's you. Me. Can you tell me where the heroes are at the moment? Hawks, they split up. Bakugo and 8 other people are walking around the city, while the other 9 are at the highest building in the western part of the city. Me, thanks. How is the ship capturing plan going on? Hawks. Nizu is on it and is also currently watching the observes. As for us villains, we are preparing ourselves. Me, great. Find out where the heroes are and do not let them get out of their room. And Hawks, you know about All Might and Vlad King, right? Hawks, of course. They are all yours. Me, thanks. Till later, Hawks. Chicken out. After my little talk, I looked at Tiny and Aizawa, each one at a time, and then picked up Kotetsu from the ground. As I did that, I could hear a low growl coming from Tiny and Kotetsu shivering a little bit. Me chill. I'm just gonna hand him over to Aizawa. Tiny roar. He immediately stopped growling the moment I said that. I then went to Aizawa and gave him the cat. Kotetsu really looked like he loved being around Aizawa and went around his shoulder. Kotetsu. MW. Aizawa. That won't be necessary. I have learned my lesson last time, and I am ready to get back at them. He began to smile creepily, but it didn't bother me at all. I returned the same smile back to him, and we went out of the building. Aizawa, where are they? Me. 2 locations. First, there is a group of 9 people walking around the city, and then there is another group of 9 staying in their headquarters resting, I assume. Aizawa, let's get the headquarters people out first. Me. I am with you. Aizawa, is it the same building they got me? Me. No, a different one. But Kogo is very of me, so there should be enough traps inside. Aizawa, HMPF, they better be prepared for this. Me. Oh, no matter how prepared they are, nothing can get them prepared enough for what I am going to do. Aizawa, lead the way, son. Without further ado, I began running down the street with a tiger at my side, and Aizawa using his scarf to move faster and keep up with me and the tiger. Kotetsu also teleported him from time to time too. It was after all not that easy to keep up with me using OFA at 30% and a huge tiger running on alongside each other. I could also see the pack of birds following us, and some were even flying in front of us announcing our arrival in their own way. Pack of scarecrows. CAW. We were on our way, and I was about to make sure that this would be their last day on the island. We were after all ready to start this war for real. War Day 4. No one is ever safe. The moment we were in front of the building, I let Kotetsu teleported us both to the rooftop. Aizawa. The rooftop again? Me. Yes, but this time we will have an advantage here. Aizawa. How come? Me. I am with you now. Aizawa. Very reassuring. Me. Oh, come on, have faith in me. I WT straight towards the rooftop door and kicked it open. Aizawa. If they had some kind of alarm made there, then you for sure just triggered it. Me. That was the plan. I then went towards Aizawa and put a hand on his shoulder. Me. Kotetsu, get us down in front of the building. The cat immediately did what I asked. Me. Now let's go inside. Without even waiting for Aizawa, I took out my scythe from behind me, and then I went inside the building. What I wanted was to get them all out, so I went inside and screamed at the top of my lungs. Me. OH heroes, come and get me. Aizawa, problem child. I am regretting teaming up with you. Mina, now come on. Since Aizawa was looking at me as if I was stupid and clearly judged my decision, I needed to take him by his hand, and then I pulled him behind me into the next room. Me, sight, come on. I went to the side of the entrance exam into the first room I saw. It was completely empty, and it was only a small storage room. Me, shush. We then waited and heard a couple of footsteps approaching us. Ida, Izuku was in the building. Hagakure, they should be on the rooftop. Jiro, no, I told you I heard him screaming down here. The moment they passed us, I opened the door towards the door and went behind them. Both me and Aizawa began to walk behind them very stealthy. We looked at each other, and I smiled at him before we continued walking after them. I think I might have surprised him because of how stealthy I could be. It was nothing new to me that I could erase my presence, but I was not so sure if Aizawa knew that at all. Well, either way, we were about to do some cool shit. Aizawa went in and used his quirk to get Hagakure wrapped up in his scarf, and he also made sure that her mouth was tightly wrapped up too. This meant that she was not able to make any sound. In fact, no one of us made any noise so far. After that, I decided to get right behind Ida and place my scythe around his neck. The moment he felt the scythe, he turned around and looked at me. Me. Nice meeting you, oh hero. Ida. Midoriya. Me. No. I am Usagi. But you wouldn't know that. Well, you will learn this soon enough, since I will be your worst nightmare. Ida. A scythe? That is not very hero-like. Me. I am no fucking hero. Tried it once, and didn't like it, so here I am. The biggest villain you ever seen. Jiro. Wait, is that me? Oh, I see you saw my partner in crime. I put the scythe away and began walking around Ida. He was intelligent enough to not let me go of his eyesight. Ida. So you did rescue him? Me. Bailed him out, or more like broke into the prison of a boat and got him out. Ida. Jiro, be careful. Jiro, I know. Me. Enough chit-chat. Let's proceed to our business. Just like that, I began running straight at Ida with my scythe in my hand and using my quirk. He, on the other hand, used his quirk too and dodged just in the last second. My scythe hit the ground and broke the floor. There was now a small hole because of it. Ida, that could have killed me. Me. That is the point of a weapon. I then went again at him, swinging my scythe like a maniac. Me. Aha! Meanwhile, I could see Aizawa knocking Hagakure out, but not eliminating her. After that, he went after Jiro. Me. Come on, where is all the speed you got? I could easily keep up with him, and the moment I managed to get in front of Ida, I tripped him, making him fall, roll, and hit the next wall very hard. Not wanting to lose my momentum, I ran at the place he went down, jumped into the air, and used my scythe to hit his shoulder, but he rolled himself away. Me. Will you stop moving already? Since I used too much force, my scythe was stuck in the ground, and it took me some seconds to get it out. While I did that, I could see Ida beginning to switch from running away to attacking me. Too bad that his kick failed, and I caught his leg. Now with one hand on his leg, I used my other hand to grab him properly. Me. What a bad idea. Next thing he knew was that I sent him flying towards wall beside me. I also took this moment to get my scythe out of the ground. Me. Let's end this already. I went straight after Ida. His movement began to slow down, and I could tell that his engine quirk was overheating. Then I got a brilliant idea. I took my scythe and sidestepped him. Next, I made an X on both of his legs where his engines are. It wasn't really a deep cut, but it was enough to make sure that he would not be able to stand up again. I knew I could have just used some paralyses things, but not after they eliminated my team. Not after how they went after me and my team. I endured enough my whole life, and now I had Nise's approval to go all out on them. I would not let this chance slip past me. Me. I am still not finished with you. I went in front of him. He was now on his knees. I liked it when people were on their knees and looking up at me. It was a refreshing feeling because I would be normally the one that would look up no matter what. Now that I was in front of him, I gave him the best simple smile I could muster that looked identical to a Cheshire cat smile, and I could see him shiver. His eyes were betraying him too. He looked scared of me, but he acted all tough. Me? Let me finish this. I put my scythe away and looked at him. He was now clearly confused, but what I did next was more than enough to give him a concussion and out of the game. Grabbing his neck, I quickly pulled him up on his feet, all the way up above and above myself. I threw him from in front of me to behind me head first towards the cold concrete floor. Ida, ARG, mid bloody cough. Me. Did I just hear you say something wrong? The moment I hear him beginning to say Midoriya, I put more pressure on the foot and broke his ribs. From the look of it, it also pierces his lung. I would have gone further if not for him losing conscious because of all the pain he felt, and I could also hear Nizu and Recovery Girl's voice that I should stop. After he was done, I looked at Aizawa, only to see Jiro hanging from the ceiling upside down. He used his scarf to get her to hang like that, and was holding one end of it. She was hanging from a hook that was meant for the lamp, which was on the ground completely broken. Aizawa, she is all yours. What a great gift, thank you. She looked done, and so I decided to sue her to allure the rest of the people in the building. Me? Drop her. He did as I asked, and I went with my scythe over my shoulder towards her. She was about to stand up if not for my scythe piercing through her chest. It was only a flesh wound, but the result was exactly what I wanted to have. Gyru. Her scream was a blood-curdled scream that was loud enough to warn everyone in the building about our presence. After that, I took out my scythe and looked at her limp body. The blood was seeping out of it, and my scythe was also completely drenched in it. Aizawa, was that really necessary? Me. I want them to fear us, and yes, it was. I walked over to Hagakure. Me. What do you say if we put a trap for them with her? Aizawa. What are you thinking on? Me. Help me cover her with Jiro's blood. We will make them run towards her and get them out of their hiding places. Aizawa. All right, I know that Aizawa is back in the game, but he is officially eliminated. That is why he does still have the X. War Day 4. Easy game, right? I told Aizawa to go hide while I was standing with one foot on an unconscious Hagakure. She also had the blood of Jiro on her. My caterpillar of a dad's hiding place was rather simple. He went in the same storage room back in. His new cat followed his every step. Once I heard the door close with a very small click, I decided to get dramatic. Me, heroes of yesterday, today will be your end. Come down and face me, for I am Usagi. the killer rabbit. After that, I began counting down how long it would take the heroes to come in. Not to mention that they all took more than 42 seconds, and I could have killed the invisible girl below me, but all I did was put my size blade around her neck. Once I heard some footsteps, I began to quickly think if they would be stupid enough to get every one of the remaining 6 people down here. I hoped that they would, and to my luck, 6 people basically run into the room and only stopped once they saw me. Aoyama, not very elegant Monami. Kuda, Midoriya, please put the weapon down. Sato, we can talk this over, can't we? Ojiro, is that thing even allowed? Shiro, look at Ida and Jairu. Yaoyorozu, did you do this all by yourself, Midoriya? Me? First of I am Usagi. Second, yes I did. Do you like me redecorating your hero's headquarters? I think red is a very pretty color. Aoyama, are you okay, Midoriya-kun? Meh. I told you already, I am us guy. Yaoyorozu, okay, Usagi. Please put your weapons down. Me. And what if I don't want to? Yaoyorozu, then we have no choice as to use drastic measurements. Me. And giving up on a life? That is not very hero-like at all. I then used my scythe and made a bloody mark on her throat before walking in front of the others. Thanks to the mark, Hagakure was now officially out. Not caring how, I began dragging my scythe over the floor towards the hero and leaving a mark or the blood splashed in my face at all. I was walking towards them until I was 3 meters away. Me. So who's first? They all looked at one another before trying to split and surround me. However, I could see Izuku behind them, approaching them slowly and then taking his scarf in order to get a hold of Ojiro's tail and pulling him towards him. The moment I saw that, I began sprinting towards Aoyama. It all went very fast, and I didn't want them to know that Izuku was in this too. So I decided that this round should be split equally. Since Izuku didn't have any weapons, I took out my twin daggers and threw them visible at nothing. The reality looked different though. Once I made eye contact with Izuku, I threw him the daggers over, and he took them in mad slash marks, since this weapon was one build for the game and not to injure anyone. My scythe was just rigged and special. I watched Izuku use one dagger to make a cut mark along his neck, and one at the place of his heart before vanishing into the chaos and getting Kuda wrapped up next since he was close to him. I then focused on the person in front of me, which would be the bling blig boy from Class 1A. He used his quirk to try and get me to run to Shiro, but I instead just jumped over it. Next, I ducked below the laser and began running at him before sidestepping and moving my course towards Sato. Too bad that Aoyama was using his quirk the entire time and managed to grace Shiro with it. Shiro, watch it. Ha, idiot. That was violation of the rules, and as such he was immediately disqualified. Without Bakugo, they were all acting stupid, and that was when I realized that Bakugo might be the only one that was taking this the most serious from all of them. I could, however, not understand how he could leave Su's weak comrades behind and go out search for me. Is this a trap set for me? No. If this was a trap made for me, then Tiny and the others wouldn't have let me go inside the building without warning me. Not only that, but I had an intel on the boat. Speaking of the intel, I could hear Hawk's voice while I was evading Shiro's tape and make Sato be trapped in them. Hawks. Bunny, do you copy? Me, MH, Hawks. Bakugo and the others are on their way back. Scarecrow and his pack is currently buying you some time. They are running after them and letting them run towards the southern part of the city. I say you have a good 30 minutes until they will figure something out in order to aggravate the birds. That angry Pomeranian looks pissed and ready to explode. We got it. With that, I heard the line get cut, and I began focusing again on my fight. Until now, I was just using the heroes to get themselves out. I wanted to show how stupid they were. Once I was done playing around with Shiro and Sato, I decided to attack. First was Sato. He had some sugar, and I could see that his quirk was already activated, but his back was completely covered in Shiro's tape. It would not hinder his movements or slow him down at all, but if I were to kick him, he would be stuck at the wall. Okay, here I go. I was dodging Shiro's attack the whole time, facing him and only paying attention to my surroundings. None of them knew that I was using the other to get both of them out. Once I was in the position, Sato began running towards me from behind while Shiro was throwing some more tape at my feet. The moment I felt Shiro coming close, I decided to make a jump flip backwards. I also used my scythe to get into the air and above Sato. The poor guy got some more tape on his chest and ran into Shiro since he couldn't stop his attack. On the impact of each other, Shiro fell down, and I was sure that Sato was now sticking to Shiro. I found this rather amusing. Me. Ah ha 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 ha. While I was laughing, I dropped my side to the ground and was also falling down laughing so hard. The resin was simple. I saw them trying to get up, but they couldn't do anything. And then I saw Aizawa using his daggers professionally and cut Kuta's knees, making him fall, and his arms. Then make a stabby motion towards his shoulders, and to top everything, if he used his scarf and threw him against Yairosa, who was about to attack me with a real weapon too. Me. Haha, sorry, haha, caterpillar. Aizawa. Side problem child, stop laughing and focus. He then ran past me and threw one dagger at Kuta's head, getting him out of the game while running at Yairozu. Yairozu. Sensei? But we eliminated you. Yairozu. That is true. It will be my honor fighting you, Sensei. Aizawa. I won't hold back, kid. I wanted to see their battle. It was sure to be one epic battle. Therefore, I went to Siro and Sada, who both of them were still struggling, and used Ofa to tear them apart. Once I have done that, I threw Sada towards the wall. He began sticking there while I had one arm around Siro's neck and began chocking him until he fell unconscious. Next, I took out my gun and went towards Sato. The gun was facing his face, and I positioned it right in between his eyes. Sato, that gun is not real, is it? What do you think after seeing my scythe? Sato, gulp. Me want to find out? I took out every bullet of my gun, only leaving one inside, and then putting on my head. Me. How about a quick game of Russian roulette? Without waiting for a respond, I hit the trigger and nothing. Next, I put it back towards his head. Sato. No, please. I hit the trigger and nothing. Me. AW, but this is fun. I put it below my jaw this time and hit the trigger. Nothing. Then faced his head again. I could feel that this time it would shoot the bullet for sure. There was this sensation I could feel when pulling the trigger. It felt different, and although I wasn't pulling the trigger completely to the back, I felt it going harder to pull. Me. Do you have any last wishes? Sato. No, please, Midoriya. I am begging you. I will do anything, so please. Me. Nah. There is no escape. With that, I pulled the trigger, and the paralyzed bullet hit him spot on. Thanks to the closeness, I was sure that he would feel this when he woke up. Even though he was paralyzed, only I was sure that he was unconscious because of the fear I put him through. After doing that, I turned around, picked my scythe, and then proceeded to watch my dad being ruthless towards Yairozu and not even giving her a chance to fight back. He used his scarf to get her towards him, wrapped up, and threw her around like a rag doll. He then also threw his daggers at her, and then running at her, picking them up again, and using his scarf to get the weapons out of her hand, throwing them away. He then used his stealth mode and sidestep out her going towards her back, and using both daggers to make an X mark on her back, then pinning her towards the ground with one knee, and using one dagger to make a cut mark around her neck. It was a really interesting fight, and at the end we both got all of them out of the game. Me. I would say mission accomplished. Aizawa. Let's go and get the others out. Me. You are reading my mind, Caterpillar. Just like that, we left the entrance hall, and we were immediately met with Tiger. His cat was following close behind us. Me. Did you miss me, Tiny? Tiny roar. The tiger came towards me and nuzzled me. He came really close to me asking for pets, and I gladly gave him some before we would go on a hunt. Me. Tiny, I'll let you guys have some fun too with the next couple of people. Could you please let the Scarecrows know to split them up? The tiger nodded towards me before running and using his ice quirk to get to the next rooftop. Tiny roar. I could see Fenrir from the opposite rooftop too. He was also watching us. Fenrir. You're alone. Aizawa. You let them split up? Me. Yes, and I want to introduce my dear friends to them too. Aizawa. Oh, I see. He began smiling at me. I also returned his smile too. We both knew that our next turn would end the game, but it would be more than fun. War Day 4. Playing a game of cat and mouse. Aizawa's POV. After Izuku told his tiger to order the Scarecrows to split Bakugo's team up, he also told me to split up with him. Izuku. Dadzawa, would be alright for you to go after 3 people, and I would go after the other 3? This way we could finish everything up and then go to the boat while they gather all the people around. Me, no problem. Izuku. Oh, and you should go with Gaja. Me. Gaja? The moment I mentioned the name, a huge panther like earth creature jumped out of the concrete below us. I would be lying if I said that it didn't surprise me. Me. Aizawa, this is Gaja. Gaja, this is my adoptive father Aizawa. Please take care of him. After he said that to me, I watched Tiny lower himself down and Izuku getting on his back before the ice tiger would run away following some crows. Me. So Gaja, huh? Gaja roar. Tay Panther came to my side and did the same thing Tiny did for Izuku. Gaja lowered herself down, and I climbed up her back. Kotetsu teleported himself on my shoulder before the cat began sprinting and following a crow. Gaja arwar. It didn't take long for us to find one crow circling around a specific area. Once we were there, Gaja began slowing down, but I had other plans. I was riding on a huge cat's back after all. There was no way I would let the chance just go by. From what I could tell, this panther had some earth quirk. He was fast, and since I loved the feeling of riding on a cat, I lowered myself towards its head. Me. Can you jump over our next victim to intimidate them? Gaja roar. The cat began once again picking some speed, and the moment we saw the person, Gaja run straight at her. The pink skin and the colorful costume belongs to no other than Ishido. To be quite honest, I hated that costume. I let Gaja run towards her and then jump over her head and land in front of her. Ishido. Okay. She immediately turned to the side and booked it into the next alley. Me follow her. Gaja accepted my command and began sprinting after Ishido and once again jump over her head and land in front of her. Ishido, I am not tasty. Stop running after me. I am not an insect you can play with. She immediately turned around and run back the way she came from. From the looks of it, she hasn't even seen me at all. She was way too focused on Gaja to even realize someone was riding on her back or that there was another cat there. Me. Sigh, this is getting ridiculous. Gaja tried once again to stop her by jumping in front of her, but she simply didn't bother to look up anymore. All Ishido did was look at the giant paws and the shadow of the panther before turning A around. Ishido, I am way too tough and not even edible. I might look jummy to you, but I assure you I am not. She ran down the alley, and apparently Kotetsu found it funny to teleport her back to the beginning right in front of us. Ishido, God, you're serious right now? She tried to run and run down the alley, but every time she would get towards the end, Kotetsu would teleport her right back towards us. This went on a couple of times until she just slumped to her knees. Ishido, I give up. Do tell me, God, is it fun seeing me suffering so much? I couldn't help it but reply to her. Me, yes. That was the moment she turned around rather fast and faced me directly. Ishido, Aizawa-sensei? Me fool. Gaja roar. The moment Gaja roared at her, she began backing away from us before jumping to her feet and using her quirk on us. However, acid has no effect on Gaja and her quirk. The panther simply stopped to the ground, and a wall was made out of concrete in between us, protecting us from the attack. After that, Gaja jumped towards the wall and was balancing herself on the edge of it, ready to jump down. Ishido used that moment to book it. Ishido, nope, nope, freaking nope. I'm not dealing with that cat. Me. After her, Gaja was awaiting a command, and I gave it to her. It only took her a split second to catch up with Ishido, and I jumped off her back using my scarf in order to capture Ishido and send her flying towards the next building's wall at the end of the alley. The moment I let go of her, I readied my dagger and began running at her before Kotetsu teleported me in front of her. I used the dagger to make a cut mark across her cheek. Kotetsu then teleported me behind her, and I kicked her so that she fell down face first. Next, I jumped over her and crouched in front of her. Me. There is no escaping me, no. My panther was standing behind me and looking at her too. However, as stupid as my students usually are, she tried using her quirk on me. I didn't need to use my quirk since Gaja just made the concrete around me rise a good half meter. I was safe. Me? Bad choice. Gaja, Kotetsu, get her. The cat on my shoulder jumped down and teleported her way up in the air, and I watched Gaja running and make some stepping stones that would get her into the air before making an earth cage wound Ishido, dropping her to the ground and releasing the cage again. She was laying there with multiple cut wounds from small rocks and some grazes. I decided to walk over to her and eliminate her with my dagger before moving towards the next person. Me, good work, you two. Kotetsu. The cat went around my feet, begging me to pick him up and giving him some attention, while Gaja was simply watching us before bowing and running away. Me, looks like it is us two now. Kotetsu. MW. Roar. I could hear another roar and looked at its direction. There was a cheetah running at me at full speed, and all the big cat was leaving was a trail of flames. He was very fast and only stopped 1 meter before me. Me. Let me guess, one of your friends? Kotetsu. Roar. Me. I don't know your name, but I will give you one for now. How about Blaze? Kotetsu. MW. Blaze roar. Me, Blaze it is. Did Izuku send you? The cheetah shook his head. Me. Tiny. A nod. Me. I am beginning to love this freaking island even more. I will need to talk with Nizu about leaving the island to me. War Day 4. It's called Scarecrow for a reason. I was currently on Tiny's back while he was running and gliding in the ice he made on the concrete floor while his feet were touching the ground. As simple as this concept was, it made us go very fast, and I was once again surprised how intelligent this tiger was. I had a feeling that every single one of the animals on the island was intelligent, but I didn't think that they would be on par to a human being, if not even cleverer. Tiny roar! He jumped up into the air, and I saw the leader of the pack of crows coming flying towards us. Scarecrow, CW, me. You want to fight with us? Scarecrow, CW, me. I take that as a yes. Scarecrow was flying in front of us and leading the way to an alley. As we began approaching the island, Tiny stopped in mid-track and motioned for me to get down. I did as he said. Once I was done, he bowed towards me and then jumped and climbed the next building up towards its roof and began watching us from above. Me. I guess it's you and me now. As I said that, Scarecrow let out a screech, and then a couple of more crows came flying down towards us. Me army check. Now let's go. I went to the corner and looked around it, seeing Tokoimi walking down towards me since there was a crow blocking his way of getting the other side, and seeing as he was walking towards me, I let him go out of the alley past me. Dark Shadow. There he is. But before Dark Shadow could even react, the small scarecrows were already attacking him, and Tokoimi began jumping away in order to get some distance between us and turned around looking at me. I was just leaning against the wall. Scarecrow. CAW, me motherfucker. Dark Shadow, ha 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 ha. Tokoimi. Revelry in the dark. All the crows went from attack to circling around us, making a wall of crows around us. Me. Shall we dance? Dark Shadow. Yes, please. Tokoimi. Heckin' no. It was already too late because I was already running straight at him with Scarecrow at my side. He was faster and attacked Dark Shadow. The Quark had no chance against my loyal crow. No matter how fast or how many times Dark Shadow attacked Scarecrow, his attacks were cut in half. Nothing could harm him at all. As for me, I was running at Tokoimi and took my scythe out and was about to attack if not for the crows going in between us. Little crows. CAW. I immediately knew that they wanted to handle this and didn't want me to get my hands dirty. Me okay, go on? I jumped back and put my scythe back to my back, watching the pack of scarecrows having their fun with Tokoimi. At first, they were only making a wall and letting their leader take care of Dark Shadow, but after a while they decided to help him. Just like that, he was picked up by multiple crows and thrown up into the air. Tokoimi. What the put me down? As if they wanted to make his wish come true, they all released their grip on him. However, he was about 4 meters above the ground and fell down, but before he could even hit the ground, the crows took him again. Their nails began digging into his flesh, and I could hear the poor guy screaming. Tokoimi. HHH Midoriya. Get them away from me. Dark Shadow. SHOO. Me. Remember my name? I am Usagi. Get that fact straight into your brain. Tokoimi. Usagi, please. Me nah. My friends here are enjoying the fight way too much. Scarecrow. CAW. Dark Shadow. CAW. The moment Dark Shadow let out down bird, Noise the bird reacted very angry to it and began flying all around him, cutting him too. Tokoimi. You just had to do that. Dark Shadow. Sorry. Tokoimi. Apologize to them and not me. Dark Shadow. I don't think that will save us. Me. Nothing can save you. I looked at the crows flying all up and then the leader dropping down and flying past me and up again. They looked scary being all together flying in a formation and as a pack. If one had to describe them, then they would look like a giant black swarm of birds. The moment they came down again towards me and Tokoimi, the poor guy got to his senses and booked it. Tokoimi, I give up. Dark Shadow, come at me. I am not scared of you. Tokoimi, but I am. Dark Shadow, CAW. The birds really hated the quirk imitating their call and one after them. I could see that they changed the behavior of their feathers to a hardened state as they flew past me in order to get Tokoimi. Me, you better run faster. As the birds flew past me, I saw them pinning Tokoimi in place and then making way for their pack leader. However, Scarecrow only went flying towards me and began hovering in front of me. Scarecrow, CAW. He came closer and I understood him. They hunted Tokoimi down and they all wanted to get acknowledged and praised for it. Not only that, but they also got him ready and in place for me to make the final move. Me, thank you. Good job. I was about to pet his head if not for Tiny to jump down beside me and scaring Scarecrow away. Tiny roar. For me, it looked like Tiny was jealous about Scarecrow and scaring him away. Tiny went towards me and then began to push me to go and finish him off. Me, okay, I'm going. I went towards the middle of the street and took my gun out. Me, once bullet, one goal, and one target. I aimed and shoot. Naturally, my bullet hit my target spot on. I aimed at his heart and hit the area, getting him out of the game. The moment I did that, the Scarecrows let him go and flew up into the air. They all looked happy and began flying all around and screaming at each other. This went on for a while until they calmed down enough for us to go for our next target. War Day 4. Cat Iceland for a cat lover. Aizawa's POV. I was on the back of a fucking fire cheetah running towards our next target. For me, this was a wish come true. This was an island full of different type of cats, and I could touch them, ride on them, and cuddle them all I want. I was sure to thank Izuku and spoil him later for this. It was after all thanks to him that I was able to enjoy myself quite well. The cheetah I was on had a fire quirk, but I found out that the cheetah could actually control the fire to be even room temperature, and this was how I was even able to be on its back. Not only that, but Blaze was also very big for a normal cheetah. He was still double, if not even triple the size of a normal cheetah. As I was on its back and felling its fire-covered fur, I was completely lost into my own world as I was thinking on how fluffy his fur was. Blaze roar. It was his roar that brought me back to reality, and I looked in front of us to see Azui running away. Blaze was fast, and he began speeding up and running in a circle around her after leading her to a plaza-like place. Once we were out in the opening, Kotetsu teleported me off the back of the cheetah while he was sprinting towards Azui, and I could tell that he was also increasing his temperature as his flames went from red to a light blue. He was circling around Azui, and Kotetsu teleported us into the ring of fire, while Blaze was making sure to keep up the fire ring he created. Asui, Aizoa sensei ribit. Before I was able to even answer, Blaze jumped from behind me, above me, and then landed in front of me. Blaze roar. He then pounces at Azui, pinning her down and burning her at the places his paws touched her skin. He then fletched his teeth in front of her, growling too. Azui. I watched my student just go limp. Me, Blaze, get away from her. I went towards my student and saw that she was out cold. Me, saw they're all too weak. I will need to train them to not get so frightened in the future. I might bring them back to this island too. Blaze roar. Me, you would like that, wouldn't you? Blaze roar. Kodetsu. Me. Both of you like that, huh? Let's see if I can get Nisus okay for this. As for me and Izuku, we will be 100%, no 1000% coming back. The moment I said that, I watched Blaze walk over to me, and in front of me, he then began to bow, turn around, and running off. Me, this again. Which cat will I get next? Roar. I looked to my side and saw a black misty lion. Me, best island ever. Me, I officially made dibs on this island. It is mine now. The lion ran towards me and then once again offered me a ride. Of course, I accepted it without any hesitation, if not even threw myself on it. After I was on his back, he began running and following a crow. It took longer than with the cheetah to get to our target. The moment the girl saw us, she began to run into the next building. Me, Kotetsu, get her. Kotetsu vanished from my shoulder and teleported Uraraka right in front of us. The moment she was in front of us, she looked at the huge lion and then at me. Uraraka, sensei? That you? Lion roar. The moment the lion rode, I saw her shadow vanish, and the girl's eyes went completely black. Lion roar. Another roar, and I saw Uraraka use her quirk on herself. Me, good work, kitty. I was still on the lion and began bending down, hugging him, and petting its fur. It was weird for a grown-up man like me to hug and be on the back of a lion, but this was my life, and I was enjoying it to the fullest. Kodetsu. The cat teleported himself on my back and began throwing himself on my back down, rolling around and nuzzling himself into my hero costume. Me, you want a pet too, buddy? Kotetsu. MW. I slowly got up and went off the huge cat while Kotetsu got down and teleported himself on my shoulder. After 15 minutes, I could hear the lion roar and Uraraka drop to the ground. It was a mystery to me how he was doing this, but as far as I could tell, since the lion didn't have any shadow, was that he was stealing her shadow, and the moment he did that, he gained a shadow and also the whole control over her body. Once he let his control over her gone, she dropped down and immediately began throwing up. She looked more than ill, and I could hear recovery Gil telling me that she was out of the game due to the fact of overusing her quirk. After that, I was done with all my targets. Now all there was left was the ship, me. Now all I have to do is find Izuku and go to the board. The moment I said that, my cat teleported me towards the boat, and onto it too. Not only that, but he also went ahead and teleported me back into the villain's observation room. Mik Sehasho. How? Midnight. Oh, that's the cat that can teleport, right? She came closer, and I could hear Kotetsu hissing at her. Mike. Show. You didn't get another cat, did you? Me. He chose me. Kotetsu. MW. Mike. He follows Tiny and Izuku. He didn't choose you. Me, he did. Just accept it. Mike. No show. You can't have another pet. Me, why? Mike. What if you mean why? You have so many cats already, and we will have a tiger too. Me. Nizu is putting the tiger on UA ground, so there is no need of us housing him, but this is just a small cat. Mike. Let's face it. You want to own the island. Me. Can we do that? Me. No. Where do you think we would get the money for that? Me. It already belongs to UA. Mike. Yes, because Niza knows how to blackmail the correct people. Me. So, if I talk to him, everything is fine? Mike. I guess so. But no huge cats in our house. Me deal. Mike deal. War Day 4. May I introduce to you? This is Tiny. I was on my way to get the last couple of persons out of the game. I was sure that they were split into groups, but all of a sudden, 3 small scarecrows came back to us, and Tiny immediately stopped in his track. 1 crow, CAW, 2 crow, CAW, 3 crow, CAW. After looking at them, I could tell that they were injured. They had some small ice particles on them. I knew the ice all too well. It was Shoto. He attacked these 3 birds, meaning he was gathering the rest of the group. Tiny, GRRR, Scarecrow, Kaka, CAW. For me, who didn't understand what they were saying, it looked like Tiny and Scarecrow were actually lecturing the small crows. Me, Shoto attacked you. This means that the last group of people I will face is a group, not a single person anymore. As I was saying this, I could hear my tiger make a loud roar, and in the next moment, Fenrir jumped off a nearby roof and landed right next to us. Fenrir woof. He lowered his head and bowed to me and Tiny. Now equipped with a fire/lava wolf, an ice tiger, and a pack of killing bird, I thought that the numbers have evened. Me. With these many numbers, I think we will be able to pull it off. Tiny ROR, Fenrir, Scarecrow, Kaka, CAW. They looked and sounded all hyped up for the last event of the game, before we would go into the extra level of this game. Me. Then let's go. However, as I thought that these were all the animals that were about to help me, and we were on our way, I saw Gadja the Earth Panther joining us. The next time we passed an alley, a fire cheetah joined us. And if this was not enough, a black smoky lion came to us too. With a pack of crows flying above us, scouting and warning us of any attacks, we went ahead and followed Scarecrow, the leader of his pack, into a rather open place. Before we came into the sight of the heroes, I wanted to scout them out, and from Tiny's movements, I could tell he was thinking the same as he quickly got us to the next rooftop and let me down. We then went towards the edge, and I saw all Remind heroes there. In fact, I knew that with Shuji and their team that I would not go undetected, and so I didn't even try doing it. I jumped down the roof right in front of them and began walking towards them while also talking to them. Me. Long time no see, Kakin. But Kugo. Deku. Me. And oh, I go by Usagi here. Kirishima. You are outnumbered. Give it up. Me. Am I really? Shuji incoming. They didn't need Shuji to tell them that as the huge pack of crows began flying down and circling us all. Todoroki, you are in control of them? Me. Oh, not only them, but Kugo. What the fuck does that mean? Me. You will see. But Kugo. Everyone watch your backs. Me. Gadja. Kirishima. What the fick, bro? The whole plaza began to shake before the floor beneath us gave in and the whole ground sunk 2 meters down. As if that was not enough, the ground was shaking the whole time, knocking Kirishima down. The moment he was down, Gadja decided to show herself and jumped up from beneath the ground, pinning Kirishima down and biting into his hardened arm. Kirishima, help! Bakugo, the FUCK. I saw Todoroki reading his eyes to attack me and even launching an attack. However, Fenrir and the cheetah jumped from behind me through the pack of birds that were blocking their side and melted the ice attack. Fenrir, cheetah roar, growling. Both animals began attacking Todoroki. He had no chance standing them. His eyes couldn't get to them, and his flames were not effective against them at all. Seeing as they were fighting, the lion walked from behind me and stood beside me for a short moment before pouncing at Shuji, using him to attack Kirishima. Kirishima, what the fuck, bro? We are on the same team. Gaja backed off once she senses Shuji coming towards her. It didn't take long for both of them to get into a fist fight, and of course, Kirishima won the battle, leaving an unconscious Shuji behind. All it took was a good hardened punch into his face, and he was out cold like a candle. Now the problem was, since Kirishima attacked Shuji out of his free, well, he was acting against the rules, and was therefore immediately eliminated too. Now the lion and Gajawa were watching the fight between Todoroki and two fire quirk using animals. Meanwhile, Bakugo was only staring at his team, unable to move because of the lion's control. Todoroki was using his eyes to the fullest he could, but it was not enough for them, and so while one animal was defeating the attack he shot at them, the other one bit into his shoulder and got him down to the ground. Out of desperation, Shoto began using his fire side, but all that did to the cheetah that bite him was fuel their own flames and getting his quirk to run wild. He was soon called out because of quirk overuse. Me. AHM, line, would it be okay if I call you Kuro? Kuro roar. Me. Okay, Kuro. Please release Bakugo here from your control. Once I said that the lion did as he was told. Bakugo, the fuck happened? He turned around and saw all the animals aligning and his team mates on the ground. Me, my army happened. Bakugo, fuck it. Left with no other choice, he used his own quirk to maneuver through air to get to me faster. It was very easy to dodge the attack. Me, AHM Kaken, I have someone I want you to meet. Bakugo, another fucking animal. Me, you will see. Bakugo, it's fucking called Tiny. There is no way that it will be a huge fucking monster of an animal. Me, oh, it's just my kitten. Bakugo, the fuck will a tiny ass fur ball do? Me, oh, just wait and see. Bakugo, whatever fucking Deku. Me, Tiny, come over here. The pack of birds stopped circling us and began flying towards the edge of the small pit. They all sat there one after another. My tiger went towards the edge, jumped down, and began walking towards me. The ice tiger was only waiting for this moment as Suhi pounced over my head and pinned Bakugo to the ground since I was close to him, fletching his teeth at him and roaring into his face. Tiny roar. Bakugo. H. Get your fucking cat away. Me, it don't bite. Bakugo. Yes, it do. Me. In H, you're just imagine it. Tiny was first pinning Bakugo, then letting him go the moment he screamed, only to pounce and bite him in the ass. Bakugo. He is fucking biting me right now. My so-called kitten released him from his bite and was about to pounce again, if not for me running past him using OFA at 42% and having my scythe in the hand. Tiny saw me and made an ice slope for me to glide down and get some more momentum. It worked, and I managed to slash Bakugo over his chest. The moment I did that, Tiny jumped from the side at him, biting him in the shoulder and throwing him at the next ground wall. However, before he could even hit the wall, I managed to get behind him thanks to my quirk and kicked him straight down to the ground, making a couple of his ribs break because I kicked him on the torso. Needless to say that he hit the ground very hard and coughed up some blood. I would have loved to take it further, as I already had my scythe on his back to carve the word murderer on it since he wanted to name himself King Explosion Murder, and not only that, but he once also did the same thing for me and carved Deku in my skin. Once my mom found out about it, she used all the money we had and got me to a good doctor who could heal the wound without leaving a single scar on my skin too. But Recovery Girl wouldn't like that, and I already heard her voice telling me he is out. Since I knew thanks to Hawks that she was on my team, I decided to let it be and get on Tiny's back. Me, get to the boat as fast as you can, Tiny. The tiger went over to Bakugo, growling at him once more time before showing him his back and began leaving. Me, you are lucky, Bakugo, that I respect Recovery Girl, or I would have definitely gone further than this. Just like that, my tiger began running at an incredible speed across the town and a part of the forest before jumping into the ocean's water and freezing it by contact. This was the way we began traveling towards the ship. The moment we were close to it, Tiny made some steps of ice and got on the boat with me on him. Once we were on the ship, I went off his back and was immediately met with Hawks. Hawks, I see you brought Tiny on board. Me, yes. Is everything ready? Hawks, yes. I let Nizu evacuate the other Class 1A and Class 1B students from the boat back to the school. Me, Did he give them a good reason for that? Hawks. He said they should rest one day before they would go through the result of the game. The others accepted it. Me. Who's on the helicopter? Hawks. Nizu and Recovery Girl. Me. HOH. So only the villains and the observers are on the boat, correct? Hawks. Yes, and Nizu also rigged their camera feed so that only we in the villain observation room saw what you did to Class 1A today. Me. As expected from Nizu. Hawks. We also moved All Might and Vlad King towards the observation room. Endeavor accepted them pretty easy. Gran Torino is also in our team. Speaking of which, everyone is waiting for you in the villain's observation room. Me. Then lead the way. I was happy that the corridors of the ship were large enough for Tiny to walk in, and so the three of us went towards the villain observation room. It was already pretty late, and so I decided, since they had no clue of what I did, to call it a day. Tomorrow, this game would reach its peak. I was very excited for it. War Day 4, Izuku's new fan club. 3rd POV. Inside Ofa. 7. I love this island. 3. Of course you do. 7. I want a cat. Can we have one of them? 2. I mean, if we give a cat Ofa, then it dies and another person takes it over. 7. You fucking killing a cat that way. You murder. 5. Chill. 7. This won't happen. 7. But seriously, look at how cute the cats are. 4. Which one is your favorite? 7 art. It's so hard to say, but I would say Tiny, because he is so fucking adorable with Zuzu. 1. I agree. They are both very cute together, and the way he treats him too. 5. Oh no, another crazy cat person. 1. I am not a crazy cat person. 3. Agree. He only cares for Zuki. 2. Zuki? What is he? You fucking pet. 3. No, but it is a cute nickname for him. 4. It really is cute, but I don't think it suits him very well. I will stick with Izuku. 1. Izu is just one of the best. 3. And how he handled his weapons. HHH, I could die for a lesson with him. 2. You are already dead. 3. So what? 1. There is nothing that could be said about his skills. They are top-notch. 3. You mean way out of anyone's league. 1. Yes, that too. 3. But the scythe. That is such a beautiful weapon, and the daggers he gave his adoptive father. 6. 3. Please shut up. I heard enough about weapons for a lifetime. 2. Let 3 ramble, since we already have 7 talk about all these felines. 7. What? You have something against them? Look at the fucking tiger. He froze the fucking ocean to get to the boat. 1. Impressive work. 5. So we are officially making an Izuku fan base? Everyone, yes. 5. Okay. Anyone want to adopt the kid too? Everyone, me. 5. Well, we still need to fight for him, since he already has a racer head. 7. But we will always be there for him. 4. Yes, we are with him. 3. BFF. A normal human can't compare to us. 1. Well, we will be here for any support. There will be times when he will be on his own, and we will be there with him. 5. Okay, and what about the cat? 6. You mean the island? 5. 6. The crows and the wolf are on his side too. I don't think it will be easily getting them off the island. Not even Nizu can do something like that. 5. So you think they will get the island? 6. I think Nizu will either give it to them, or Aizawa will find a way to get his hands on the cat island. 7. Guys, I hate to break it to you, but I am sure that Izuku will be getting every right of the island. 1. I agree. He is smart. He might even outsmart Nizu or blackmail the rat in order to get his hands on the island. 2. No way. That cat man will get his hands on the island. I mean, just look at how crazy he was about all the big cats. 7. But Izuku should have the island. 4. Agree. 6. So what do we think about his class? 2. They got inhaled by him and his army. 4. They never had a real chance against Izuku. 7. My Zuzu would have won this game no matter what. 1. Izuku would for sure won the battle no matter what. The sheer fact that he just brought the war to the boat just shows how much capable he is. 5. Totally agree on that one. 6. But I need to say, out of both classes, Class 1A was pretty clever. 2. Yeah, Class 1B kind behaved way too rash and arrogant if you ask me. 4. That's why we don't ask you. Class 1B are ignorant. But hey, ignorance is bliss, right? 5. I am pretty sure Bakugo did warn them all about Izuku. 6. Totally. They just didn't take it seriously. 3. Well, that only shows that Class 1A is superior than Class 1B, and that the hellish and boring lessons from Aizawa were a success. 5. His methods are kinda odd, but they work. 7. Still didn't help them to win this game. 1. Nothing could have prepared them for this. 4. Who would have thought that he would actually get both classes out in just a few days? 7. He was fast, but they were also dumb. I still don't get why they were so intelligent and managed to get Zuzu's team out. 6. That clearly was only thanks to that explosive guy. 2. Yep. He was after all the only one taking Izuku serious. 5. Too bad he couldn't do a thing when he was faced with Kuro the lion. 3. Yep. No one could have actually managed to beat our cinnamon roll at this point. Everyone agree. War Day 4. Preparations. 3rd POV. Observer's room. Nizu. I plan on getting the students back to UA. They should have some time alone in order to think about all their error. We will after all soon gather all together and talk about errors. Sir Night Eye. Time for them to think for themselves. I approve of this idea. Recovery Girl. I also think it will be a good idea. I will be going with you, Nizu. Hound Dog. Wait, if you go, who will be healing the injured people? Gran Torino. It will only take them a couple of minutes to go and be right back. 13. More like max an hour. Mirko. I don't see the problem in this. Look at the screen, they are all resting and doesn't look like they will wake up anytime soon. Nizu. Great is decided then. Gran Torino. See you later. Recovery Girl. See you, my old friend. Nizu. Good luck. Ragdoll. Thanks. Nizu. Well, we'll be off now. Evidillo. Tilotter. Gran Torino. Sue, we have 2 places free. Shall we get All Might and Vlad King to join us? Ragdoll. The more the merrier. Pixie Bob. I think that is not a bad idea. Mandalay. Why not? Mirko. Yes. The number 1, 2, and 3 heroes are here, although Hawks left us. What a traitor. Sir Night Eye. I would appreciate All Might's presence. Haven't seen him in a while. Hound Dog. Okay. I am off to get them then. Ectoplasm. I'm going with you. Just like that, Nizu and Recovery Girl took the helicopter and transported every student out of the boat while sticking in contact with Hawks. The flying chicken from KFC was telling them every time Izuku would get someone out of the game. Thanks to Nizu, the observer's room drone feedback was stuck to a feedback loop showing Izuku being alone going around the city. The heroes in the city searching for them and a couple of students resting. It was very primitive and very obvious that it was not the current video from the drone. Nevertheless, it worked since none of the observers really watched the video to begin with. All they were doing was wait for an encounter and then start watching it. However, thanks to the video loop, this was not going to happen. All Might and Vlad King were in the villain's observation room. In there, the feedback loop was non-existent, and so they could see what Izuku was really doing. However, the villains knew all about Izuku's plan thanks to Nizu, and so they began talking to them and distracting them until someone came and got them to the observation room. Hawks, on the other hand, was in the villain's observation room. No one really cared for as why he was there. As for All Might and Vlad King, they thought he was only there sulking to himself in a corner because he got eliminated. The truth was different. In reality, every villain was ignoring him because they knew he was focused on informing Izuku about any sudden change in movement from the side of the heroes. On top of that, the villains were also ignoring him in order not to let All Might and Vlad King know that he was still in the game. It was just a simple act. May. So, Izuku is coming to the boat? Snipe. I get another chance. Power loader. Well, we did the feedback loop after all. May. True, but it was way too easy hacking into the drone from here. I wonder why we couldn't do that on the island. Power loader. I guess they made some kind of signal blocker and put it on the island. Mike, I can't wait for my little listener to come back. Midnight. Right, Zashi. This will be epic. Who would have thought that he would go so far and bring the war to this boat? Mike, I bet not even Nizu thought he would do that. Hawks, he didn't. As far as I know, Nizu only found out right before he got eliminated. Mike, so how is everything going? Hawks, I brought Eraserhead to the island, and believe it or not, but a stray black cat was waiting there for us. Mike, oh no. Midnight. Ha ha ha. Me. No, Midnight. Zashi. Looks like you got yet another cat. Mike, we already have 13, and also that big tiger. Now we got another cat? Seriously? What's up with that island? Hawks. No clue, but you should have seen the animals and how loyal they are to the bunny. Mike, well, I will need to ask Nizu for the island afterwards. Midnight. You're not serious, are you? Mike, well, if there are any more cats on the island, then Sho would 100% want to keep the island for himself and make a private cat coffee for himself there. And as for Izuku, well, you saw the animals and how they act around him. There is no way I could force them to be apart. Look how happy Izuku is. Midnight, you really are about to spoil him. Mike, he deserves it. Just look at his past. He deserves something he really likes and a place he can be happy too. Midnight. I can't blame you, I would do the same thing. Hawks. Either way, what are you guys to do about weapons? I tried to find them, but their whereabouts is not marked nor written down anywhere. Cementos. We have our costumes and our quirk. We will fight like we would normally as pros. Snipe. Oh, how I wish to have his guns. Midnight. You might want to ask him if he would give it to you. Power Loader. That reminds me, he still has 2 guns, a pair of daggers, some throwing knives, and his scythe. He might give us some weapons. May. Well, either way, you guys have some fun tomorrow. Mike. Are you not going to join the fight? May not. Power Loader. Me and her will be hacking and controlling the ship. That is the task that Nisa told us to do. Cementos. I am there too to watch over them and be there if the observers try to get the control back. Snipe. That will be very unlikely. Midnight. I agree. Mike. Better safe than sorry, right? Hawks. So that only leaves us to fight them. Midnight. Oh, more fun for us then. War Day 5. Surprise attack. 1. I woke up in the villain's observation room. Yesterday, I came on the boat very late, and Dadzawa, my other dad Mike, and my tiger Tiny immediately insisted that I should get some rest, and so I slept there. But today was a different story, though. Today we had a lot to do after all. Me, morning everyone. Villain's team, morning. Tiny roar. Me. Is everyone ready for our last attack? Villain's team, yeah. Me, okay, May. Power Loader, Cementos, you will be with me. I want us to carper the boat. This means you will be in the control room. Cementos, please see that they will not be caught. Cementos. Yes, sir. Me. Izawa, you go after the wild pussycats. From what I have heard, they were only here as observers because they wanted to see you beaten up by your own class. Izawa ho. I will teach them a lesson of their own. Me. Snipe, we have a wild white rabbit on the boat. See to it that the rabbit can't run anymore. Here, take my guns. They are loaded and ready. Snipe. YSSS. Oh, how I love these. Me. Midnight. Mike, both of you are going to go after the rest of the UA staff, meaning Ectoplasm, 13, and Hound Dog. Midnight. A Hound Dog. Mike, let's scare the doggy. Midnight. That's exactly my thought. Me, we'll have fun. Me. Hawks, you are up against Vlad King and Sir Nightai. I would love to teach them a lesson myself, but I want them to know that the number 3 hero is more capable than the number 1. Both of them are worshipping all might to the extreme. Go and let them know how capable you are. Hawks on it. Me. As for me, I will face number 1 and number 2. Any question left? Villain's team. No, sir. Me, great. Before we start the attack, I will be going with Cementos' team and announce my arrival. That will be your clue to go and find your targets. May Power Loader please be so kind as to use the CCTV footage of the boat as to guide them to the target. May. Okay de okay. Just like that, me and a part of my team made our way to the control room. Thanks to Hawks, I had the complete plan of the ship, and it didn't take me long to memorize it early the morning. As we were walking, Tiny was following me, and since I knew exactly where we needed to go, it only took us around 5 minutes to get there. Me. Tiny, get ready. The moment I opened the door, I jumped to the side and let my tiger into the room. Tiny roar. There were a couple of people in the room, and the moment they saw me, they were ready to use their quirk, but the moment they saw the tiger, they decided against it. Me. This is a surprise attack of the villain's side. Please cooperate and step back from the control panels. The employee of the ship immediately did what they were told since my tiger went closer to them, fletching his teeth. May, Power Loader, your turn. With that, both of the support course members went to the controls and did their job, while Cementos began watching the door and the employee. May, Izu, everything is ready. Me, okay, thank you guys. Now then, let the show begin. Put me on speaker. Power Loader. In 3, 2, 1. Me, OH my. Hello and welcome to the VK ship. My name is Usagi, and I am your captain for now. Resistance is unacceptable and will be punished. I hope you will enjoy the rest of the trip. After I said that, Power Loader turned the engine and every power the ship had down. The whole boat was now completely black, only the emergency lights were providing a little bit of light. Me. Well, good luck guys, we are leaving. Just like that, me and Tiny left the control room and went towards the hero's observation room, since it was quite obvious for us villains to stay in our own observations room. Thus, before I went with a part of my team, I told them to move there. May. Oh, looks like the white rabbit of Alice in Wonderland is currently moving towards the villain's observation room. Snipe POV. Me. That's my clue. With the guns in my hand, I went out of the room and met Izuku by sheer coincidence. He He was currently on his way back to our room. Me, I am off. Izuku, good luck. The villain's observation room was one deck below the hero's observation room, and on the opposite side of the boat on top of that. Since I was running down the hallway, it didn't take me long at all to get to the room. The moment I arrived, I saw the door open. I now had two options. Go in and risk the bunny to pin me down and lose the fight, or stay outside in the darkness. Since the second option was a lot more appealing to me, I stayed at the end of the corridor. It would be a little harder to aim and hit the target, but it would be a guaranteed hit. However, after just 3 minutes, it got bored and I began to think that I might miss since these guns were more precise than my own. That was the reason why I sneaked up on Mirko and then went to the next room beside the villain observer room and left the door just a little bit open. Mirko, there is no one here. I could hear voice. It looked like she was talking to the other observers. Mirko, they really took over the ship. Mirko, I understand. I watched her walk past the room I was in and decided it was a good idea to let the door open by itself. Door? Sheka. Mirko, what was that? Mirko, a door just opened. I would check it out and return after that immediately. I was standing in the door frame listening to her. The moment I heard her saying she would check it out, I went further into the room and stood at the end of the room, facing the door and having my gun pointed at Mirko. It was completely black inside the room, so I was sure that she was not able to see me. It didn't take long for the hero to walk into the room, and I began to go towards her. Miko, who's there? The lights began to flicker. I knew that this was the doing of Power Loader, and so it looked like I was first at the end of the room and in the next instance in front of her pointing a gun in between her eyes. Me pang. The moment I said that, I pulled the trigger. These guns were filled with some kind of paralyzed liquid, and so she just went limp, but I could tell that she was still conscious, just unable to move her body. Me, I will bring you back to our room. I took her off the ground and put her on my shoulder like a potato sack. Once I was back, I put her down and Izuku took her walkie-talkie. Izuku, oh heroes, don't you think it was a dumb idea to underestimate us? I also believe I told you that we would not tolerate any moves on your side. May, White Rabbit went down the wrong rabbit hole and met the killer rabbit Usagi and his comrades. Now we have a couple of lost kittens walking down the first floor and seemingly on the way to the storyteller. War Day 5. Surprise attack. 2. Aizawa POV. Me. Let me teach these lost kittens some manners. Izuku, wait. Give your daggers for a second. I did what he asked, and I watched him take something out of his pocket. It was a bullet. In the next moment, he destroyed the bullet and used the liquid to cover the daggers. Izuku, here. Now you will be able to paralyze them too. Me. Thanks, problem child. After that, I immediately run towards the command room. Once I found them walking towards the room, I realized that they were all cautious, but timing was essential, and since I wanted to get this over with rather fast, I decided to throw both daggers at Tiger and Pixie Bob. I managed to hit Tiger on his leg. The same happened with Pixie Bob. I then took my capture weapon and erased Mandalay's quirk while wrapping Ragdoll in my scarf. I then saw Kotetsu teleporting in front of Tiger, taking the dagger in his mouth, and making a cut marks all over his body while teleporting everywhere around him. Madali, is that your cat? Me. Yes, got a problem with that? Ragdoll. Machem. Ragdoll was not able to talk since I had my scarf all around her and preventing her to talk too. Out of the four, she was the most annoying person, and so I didn't want to hear her. After seeing Tiger fall to the ground, Kotetsu and him vanished. Pixie Bob, the cat can teleport? Since they haven't seen the real footage of the 4th War Day, they had no clue about the animals and their quirks. Not to mention that they didn't know what Izuku did to my class. After watching Kotetsu vanish, I used my scarf and threw Ragdoll towards Mandalay since she was the only other person still standing. After that, I began running at them and quickly using my skills in hand-to-hand combat, while also using my scarf to throw them from side to side, hitting the walls in this narrow hallway. I also let Kotetsu handle Pixie Bob, and after he finished doing the same thing he did to Tiger to her, he teleported in front of me and gave me my dagger back. I quickly retrieved my scarf and took both of the daggers the cat put in front of me before running towards Mandalay and Ragdoll. First, I target Mandalay, dodging her attack and using the dagger to make parts of her body fall limp. Mandalay, Ragdoll warned the others. However, before she could do that, I threw one of the daggers past Mandalay and hit Ragdoll right on her forehead, making her fall to the ground. Kotetsu then teleported her away. Me, you were saying? I was now standing in front of her and making a cut mark around her neck before she was unable to move too. Kotetsu, MEW, me? Good job. I put both my daggers away and took the cat in my hand before he teleported us back. Izuku. Good job, Dadzawa. And you too, Kotetsu. Tiny. GRRRR. Izuku. It's okay, Tiny. I won't pet him. Tiny. HMPF. Izuku. Well, let's see who they will send next. I watched him taking the combination device from Ragdoll and turning it on. Izuku. When will you guys learn? Are you really that stupid? May for kittens down? I retread 4 kittens down. Power loader. What a sudden turn of event. May. Oh look, Future Man and the Vamp are leaving their territory. Power loader, they are heading towards the deck too. I wonder what they're searching out there for. May. Maybe our killer rabbit? Power loader. Very possible. Hawk's POV. Me, yes. Finally, my turn now. Say, Izu, am I allowed to send them swimming? Izuku. Sure, why not? Me. YSSSS. I hurried outside the room and began basically to fly down the hallway. It was a little small for flying, but meh, I didn't care. All I wanted was to be up in the air. Once I was out on the deck, I immediately took off and flew all around the boat. I was quickly greeted by the Scarecrow pack. Me, what the? Scarecrow. CAW. Me. You want some fun too? Scarecrow. Caw CAW. Smaller crows. Caw CAW. Me. Back OFF. You had enough fun. They are my praise. Scarecrow. CAW. Me. Wow. Careful with these wings of yours. Scarecrow. Caw CAW. Me. Art fine. Do whatever you want. It's not like I can stop you. I am not Izuku. The crows began flying around the boat, but they were all flying very low to the water in order not be seen. I would have followed their lead only that it was not my style, and so I flew very high up. Once I saw Sir Night Eye and Vlad King coming out of the door, I flew immediately down and was about to grab Vlad King if not for Sir Night Eye. He must have looked into Vlad King's future because all he did was duck and putting his hands up. Sir Night Eye, there is no point in fighting you. Vlad King, what? Sir Ngaitai. I saw what will happen to you, and I do not want to be involved into this. So I am giving up, and I advise you to do the same. Vlad King. The hell I will. Scarecrow. CAW. I was hovering slightly in front of them until all of a sudden, all the scarecrows flew up on the side of the boat. For us, it looked like a big black wall, but as soon as they were all up, they took a formation that looked like a big crow. Vlad King, nope. Not dealing with that either. Me, well, that was pretty easy. Scarecrow. CAW. Me. Well, you guys still will need to follow me back to our room. Just like that, I landed and took them back to the hero's observation room. The leader and the biggest scarecrow followed me inside and was at the back making sure that they couldn't escape. Once inside, they went to the other observers. Mirko. They got you too, huh? Sir Night Eye. No, we gave up. Pixie Bob, why? Sir Night Eye. See that bird there? Ragdoll, yes. Sir Night Eye. They were about to take us apart if we went after Hawks. Miha. Izuku. Well, they know that you were on my team, Hawks, so they probably were there to protect you. Sir Night Eye. I also knew that you were about to send us into the ice-cold water, which I need to say no thank you to that offer. Hawks. AWW Man. War Day 5. Surprise attack. 3. Meekspo. Me. I do wonder what they will do now. Midnight. Maybe we will need to go to them? Izuku, no. The room is way too small for a fight this caliber. Me. What you mean, Izu? Izuku. All Might and Endeavor are there too. Me and Tiny would fight them, and the room will get really cold. So it wouldn't be ideal for you guys to be in there and fight your own battle too. Me, I see. Show. Then let's make them split up. Me. You have an idea? Show, yes. I saw a show look at the Pussycats. Ragdoll? HM? Why are you looking at me like this? Izuku. Oh, I get it. Ragdoll? Get what? Izuku. Can you guys help us out? Pixie Bob. Why should we? Tiny. GRRRR. Mandalay. That is one good reason to do what he says. Ragdoll. I mean, you got me with you want to help. So what do we need to do? Pixie Bob. On which side are you on? Ragdoll. The fun side. Pixie Bob. We really need to talk about this later. Ragdoll. Hawaii. Haven't we already talked about this recently? Mandalay. Yes, and it looks like still didn't get the point. Ragdoll. Oh well, if it can't be helped. Izuku. Can you act on the walkie-talkie and call for backup? Tell them you were forced to go into the villain's observation room. Ragdoll got it? Just like that, the wild Pussycats began to fake an extreme emergency and began calling for backup. They explicit asked for 13, Hound Dog, and Ectoplasm to go help them. Once they finished, me and Nim went to the room and waited for them there. I was sure that this would be over really fast. Nim, so should I knock them out immediately or do we fight? Me, how about we scare them? Nim, I don't think that is possible with Hound Dog. Me, alright, he will find us just from our scent. Nim, so should I knock him out? Me, yes, and just use a little amount so it won't affect us. Nim, you know that my quirk doesn't work that way. Me, fine, knock everyone out. We were talking in the room until we heard footsteps approaching us. The moment they entered the room, I began to hold my breath as I could tell that she used her quirk on them. It didn't take long for them to fall down one by one. After that, she gave the okay sign that it would be safe to breathe again. Me, inhale. Nim, so what now? Me, let's throw them overboard. Nee, oh no, I don't want to see 13 mad. She's scary. Me, then just Hound Dog. Nim, sounds good. We have 10 minutes until they wake up. Me, let's get them back to Izu and the others. Nim, right. With that, I took 1 ectoplasm and Nim took 13, and we brought them back to the hero's observation room we were currently staying. Izuku, you guys were pretty fast. Midnight. Well, what should I say? Me, we left Hound Dog in the villain's observation since we couldn't carry him too. Izuku, I understand. Me, Hawks, you want to come and help me? Hawks, why? Me, Hound Dog is pretty big and heavy for myself. Izuku, just go with him, please. Oaks, Urg, Fine. Izuku, well, we are off now too. Me, Tilotter. I walked out of the room together with Hawks, and we made our way to the villain's observation room. Hawks, so why did I need to come with you? Me, you wanted to throw someone into the water, right? Hawks, oh hell yeah. We both took a sleeping Hound Dog to the deck and then threw him over the railing into the cold water. Splash. Just a second later, we could hear his dog whining. Hound Dog, what the hell? While he was down there, me and Hawks began laughing to ourselves. The noise and the way he came up was just perfect. Hound Dog, this is fucking cold. Get me out of here. It took us a couple of seconds to be back on our feet. And then Hawks made his way down and got him out of the water, but not without getting splashed with some cold water too. After that, we all went back to the observation room. The light was also switching on and off the whole time. Power Loader and May made a good job in order to create a mood as if we were about to blow the whole ship up, which I hoped was not on Nizu's and Izuku's list. Izuku's POV. I saw Papa Mike telling Hawks to go with him, and by the looks of it, I immediately got what he was about to do, and I had no problem with it. So I sent Hawks to go with him. It sure would be fun seeing him be thrown into the water myself, but I had other plans. Once they went out, I soon followed, leaving the room with Tiny following me. My destination was the hero's observation room, and again I had a weapon on me and a huge ice tiger, so what could possibly go wrong? As soon as I was in front of the observation room, I could hear them talking to each other how stupid and pathetic the others are for getting tricked by me and my team. Well, I was about to show that to them. Me, Tiny, you go for the flammable trash can. Don't kill him, just make sure he can't use his quirk, and also frighten him until I am done with all bitch. Tiny roar. Me, then let's go. I gave him a quick pet before entering the room and immediately charging at all might with my scythe in my hand. I also saw a fire attack coming at me, but Tiny already managed to extinguish the flames and pounced and endeavor himself. All Might, you should have never come here. This will be your end. Me, oh no, I am shaking out of fear now. I used Ofa to the fullest I could withstand and used my scythe in combination to attack him. I was still a little bit slower than him, but my agility and my small body figure made up for it. And so I managed to dodge every attack he threw at me and deflected a couple of them thanks to the scythe's blade. After a while, I thought it was enough, and I began twirling the scythe in my hand all around me like a protective shield and went straight at him, jumped, and then rolled down behind him using the scythe to injure his legs before jumping to the side and deflect his punch with the scythe's blade. The whole weapon began to vibrate, and I was sure that my scythe could take a couple of his punches until the blade would break. However, the blade broke immediately at his third punch that I needed to reflect, and so I used the broken scythe to hit him into his head like Recovery Girl would normally whack a person if she gets angry before throwing the knife away and taking the daggers out. Me, now you have done it. I began charging at him, sticking low and sidestepping him just to use the wall as a stepping stone and jump kick him in his head, getting him to fall to the ground. Next, I jumped away since I saw him trying to grab my foot. As he was trying to get up, I decided it would be a good idea to choke him, and so I let go of my daggers. They wouldn't have done any damage to him to begin with. Me, MEH. Who needs theses anyways? I'll let my knuckles make some noises before balling them into a fist and going in again. Fun fact, he is really slow when he wants to throw a punch, but his punches are strong and effective. That was exactly what I waited for. I saw him getting ready and about to punch me if not for me delivering my own punch. My fist connected to his upper jaw, and I used that moment to get my arm around him and behind him in a choking position. Me. How do you like this? I choked him until he fell unconscious. Me. Exhale my poor scythe. Tiny. YLP. Me. Tiny. I looked into the direction of the painful noise Tiny made, and I saw Endeavor having him in his arms and about to crush him. He was holding him as if Tiny was just a big plushy animal and hugging him way too much and with too much strength. Once I saw that, I took one of the shards of my scythe's blade and threw it at Endeavor. I did aim at his hand, and the moment it went into his skin, he also let go of Tiny. This was the moment I waited. I went straight towards him and kicked him while he was too busy to get the shard out. Me. Don't you dare touch Tiny again. I then took the shard that he threw to the ground, and although it cut me, I couldn't care less. All that mattered to me was paying this bitch back. Endeavor was not that strong if I compared him to All Might. The dangerous part was his flames. Thanks to Tiny, he couldn't just attack me some. Every time he tried to use his flames at me, I would jump back, and Tiny would make a protective ice wall in front of me and to go in to bite him. After he gets thrown away, I would attack with the shard in my hand and cut Endeavor more. I was now running at him with a firm grip on the shard. Yes, it was cutting me and I could feel the pain too. The moment I was in front of him, I dodged and slipped out of his field of vision and made a huge slash mark on his back. Endeavor. HHHHH. Tiny jumped in and made 2 deep claw marks on his chest. I could feel the heat increasing from him, and I knew that he was angry, and that was fueling his own quirk. Me, Tiny. The moment I called out to him, he went on his back paws and let his complete body weight fall on the ground once his front paws hit the ground. He also unleashed a roar, and the wild room began covering itself in ice, and the temperature around us dropped in a matter of seconds. That was the moment I could hear Nizu's voice from the communication system of the boat. Nizu. The villain's team did splendid under the leadership of Izuku Midoriya. Just a couple of minutes later, Recovery Girl came in and saw all the blood. Recovery Girl. What happened here? Me? Usagi. Recovery Girl. You are bleeding. Me? And so are they. Aizawa went from behind her and grabbed my hand, looking at the wound I got from the shard. Aizawa. I will take care of him. Recovery Girl. Good grief. I would have ripped his head knowing he did that to himself. With that, the game ended. I was sure that Nizu told Recovery Girl and Aizawa to wait in front of the observation room until I was finished. The light in the room were the whole time on. I already suspected that he came back and was watching me fight them, but this was only proving my assumption. After they bandaged me and the others in the room, we were brought off the ship back to the school. Since it was already late, I was not sent home, but to the infirmary to stay there overnight and just focus on recover some energy. Not only that, I also didn't want to leave Tiny alone. Endeavor had broken him a rib while he was force hugging him, and so he was with me at the infirmary. Every other hero was sent to a hospital. The other students were healed and at home. Tomorrow was the final day they would tell them who won and how they performed. For me, it was something boring. I knew that I won and how wrong there were. None of them knew that I held back, and so they underestimated me a lot. It was simply not their fault for not knowing it all. After match, third POV. The next day, they were all called towards the school assembly hall. Pro heroes, students, and UA staff were there in the room. For the students, it was the start of a 5-day war they would never forget. For Izuku, it was at the start of finally letting go of the rules of his past. He now had a quirk after all. Not only that, but he also had a family that loved him and a new island full of animals that supported him. His quirk was also rooting for him. All in all, it was the point of life for him that would turn his bad life and luck. Everyone was already gathered in the school assembly hall besides Izuku. He was running late because of Recovery Girl and Aizawa. Both of them wanted to make sure that he was okay and not pushing himself too much since he was the one working the most. Recovery was so nice and healed Izuku's wound as well as the broken rib of the tiger as soon as they arrived at UA. Tiny immediately went to a corner after that and began sleeping there soundly. As for Izuku, he wasn't even tired after getting healed, and so Recovery Girl had him some sleeping pills and only told him they were vitamins because she knew he wouldn't take them other ways. After these 4 people, Aizawa, Recovery Girl, Tiny, and Izuku went into the room, they immediately went to their place. The UA staff teacher and healer went to the other staff members. As for Izuku and Tiny, They both went to Class 1A. Bakugo was a lot quieter as of recently too. Nizu, now that everyone is finally here, I believe we can start. Aizawa, first up, we thought about it and came to the realization that your teamwork was great, even though there is still a lot of free space for improvement. Nizu, now then Class 1A Fist. Anyone has some feedback for them? Bakugo, I fucking told you. Nizu, please be more precise. Bakugo, I fucking told them to be worry about Deku. He is not one to take lightly. Nizu, I think that much everyone has learned in more than one way. Now, then anything else? Mike, the traps you designed for us were not that bad, but not everyone would fall for that like I did. I need to say that I acted really stupidly, and I will never do this again. Aizawa, I hope so. Mike, you're a G, I get it, show. I made a grave mistake. Midnight. Also, you guys experienced a lot of luck. Things quickly can change to the worse as you have seen. Recovery girl. Okay, to cut this short, you guys need more training, and you also should make a solid plan that is not based on luck. I hope Midoriya getting everyone out in one day was a lesson for you. Villains don't abby by the rules as we saw. Nizu. Next, Class 1A. Hawks. Seriously, Dandelion, never aggravate someone. You never know how this will turn out. Like me changing to the villain side. Snipe. I still give Class 1A more plus points. Their plans were more solid. They came up with defensive tactics as well as traps that would help them survive. Very clever. Aizawa. I can only say that my class was pretty organized, and at least my class had someone that wasn't underestimating their opponent to the fullest. Vlad King. But they were also eliminated in the range of one day, no? Nizu. True that, but no one could have foreseen what would happen at that island. Not even in my wildest imagination did I know that Midoriya would gain the trust of these animals and use them as an asset. Aizawa. That reminds me, the island is now under school's property, more precise under my control. We are allowed to use the island for further training sessions, and we will. Mike, SHO. Aizawa, what? Mike, you only want to see you big cats beating your class's ass. Aizawa. Am I that obvious? Midnight, yes. Aizawa. Well, anyways, it will be a good learning experience for you. Nizu. Now then, moving on to the villains team. Gran Torino. I say heads up, best organized villain team I have ever seen. Not even a pro would have stand a chance against them. Nizu. That was plain obvious since Midoriya took out the number 1 and 2 in matter of an hour. Mirko. You never said that we would need to fight too. Nizu. That was not the plan to begin with. Midoriya there came up with the idea in order to get his team out of the pitch and succeed the whole game with his complete team. Vlad King. Wait a moment, I'm also a part of the team. Nizu. Maybe, but not a complete part. You are exchangeable. Midnight. That was harsh. Nizu. Anyways, I will be distributing a folder filled with all your errors and mistakes. Just like that ectoplasm began to give every student except Midoriya a thick-ass folder. The fact that Class 1A's folder was thicker than the ones from Class 1, B was already telling them all they needed to know. After that gathering, the students got a week off, and a couple of the students were sent to Hound Dog, including Midoriya, in order to check if he would fall back to the old ways of being a quirkless person. To their surprise, the session with Hound Dog quickly changed to a session with Midoriya where Hound Dog began telling him his problems. The island was dubbed Nico Island by Aizawa, but its real name that Niza came up was Frostbite Island. The name was given to it thanks to Tiny and his quirk. Izuku and Aizawa were in charge of tending to the animals there, and they were to visit the island once a week and stay over the weekend every second week. Moreover, Tiny was allowed to stay with Izuku, and Kotestu was now the new cat in the Izumata household, while Tiny was on UA's ground where Izuku would meet him every day. It took some getting used to it for Tiny, because he wanted to be with Izuku 24/7, but accepted defeat and ordered Scarecrow to protect Izuku while he was not there. While the pack of birds was on the island, the leader Scarecrow decided to follow Izuku like Tiny, and he was allowed to live in the same household since everyone was afraid of what Tiny would do otherwise. All in all, Izuku got himself in the end a family and a bond between his father and his animals that he never thought he would get to begin with. Izuku swore himself to live up to his own expectations and not limit himself anymore. Thanks to that, he quickly began to get a better grip over his quirk and also gained access to the quirk's core, meeting all his followers and supporters.
Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey today. I hope you enjoyed exploring the fascinating what-if scenario of Deku. If you found this video entertaining and thought-provoking, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to me and inspires me to bring you more captivating content in the future. Stay tuned for more exciting what-ifs coming your way. Until next time, take care, stay curious, and keep embracing the power of imagination. Goodbye everyone.